the action to begin. It's Hearts against Ross County with Neil McCann and Liam McLeod.
Yeah, good afternoon from a pretty cold capital, breezy as well. But the players down there protected by the huge stands here at Tynecastle in this wonderful arena down the Gorgie Road. Ross County have only ever beaten Hearts twice, and just once here. Liam Boyce was actually in their lineup. March 2017, Alex Schalk scored the only goal of the game. And it was Jim McIntyre and Ian Cathro in the respective dugouts for that one. What is the 14th league meeting in Edinburgh? And County know a victory today could be massive in their fight against the drop. For Hearts, they'll want to slice Aberdeen's lead back to 2 and pile the pressure on them ahead of their home game with Rangers tomorrow, 4:30 kick-off live here on Sportsound. And a dramatic weekend all kicks off here at Tynecastle Park, just about ready to go. The referee's Don Robertson, he's just checking with his watch and his assistants, and things about to get underway. Don Robertson's only other game here at Tynecastle this season, so Hearts exit the League Cup to Kilmarnock, and it will be the home team in the maroon shirts, white shorts, who get things underway, shooting right to left towards the school end. County in their change colours of all white will shoot towards the Gorgie Road, and there's a foul immediately over there on that far side by Sims, and that's a Hearts free kick and a very early opportunity to swing the ball in on top of that Ross County defence. Neil McCann.
Yeah, very fast start. It was interesting. Barry Mackay's involved in the centre. We expected him off the left there. He almost played and then just ran central with Oda, so it looks like a really bright start with an intent that's clearly come from the manager to get this crowd lifted. And I'll tell you, I have to say, I'm a wee bit disappointed. The numbers are not what I expected, Liam.
Short free kick taken to Oda, out to Cochrane. He was out there with Mackay. Cochrane flights it in, and it's headed over for a corner kick to Hearts here in the opening minutes. A really bright start, and Ginelli's already trying to get the supporters involved. You can see all week Stephen Naismith has quite clearly said, go for the jugular, score an early goal, because if they don't, this crowd could turn on them. Yeah,
that waving from Josh Ginelli means that we need you. We need you behind us, not against us here.
Hearts corner then, it's on their left. Barry Mackay's over it. Ginelli is the short option, that's where it goes. It's now with Ginelli looking to get some space to cross, pushes it back to Mackay. It's a ball towards the penalty spot. It's low, and County able to clear through Jordan White. Collected here by Nat Atkinson in the centre circle to his compatriot Devlin. Oda was waiting for the ball to reach him. The on loan Hybe Kenna got there first, but he gives it away. Now it's with Cochrane. Bright start from the hosts. Cochrane to the edge of the box. He shoots over the bar, and that'll be a goal kick for the Hearts fans, appreciative of the effort in the early exchanges.
Yeah, I don't mind that. You can see they sort of just touched on a shape there. The shape has flattened out to that one expected. Mackay's come to the left, Oda to the right. He get caught in the ball, Oda, and you can understand that he'll need to get up to the pace of this game. 3 central midfielders in there against him. They won't give him the time to get on it and turn, but a bright start from Hearts.
Laidlaw's pass wasn't the best, and he's put his teammate under pretty unnecessary pressure, you would have to say. The sliding George Harman puts it out for a throw into Hearts over on the far side as he challenged Oda, who's on the deck, and I think he's asking for some treatment here.
I think he's taking one on the quad, just on maybe a wee dead thigh. George Harman jumping into the challenge.
I'm not sure George Harman's thanking his goalkeeper for the pass.
No, he wasn't, because Oda was on him in a second. Seems to have recovered though, he's up.
Yeah, big opportunity for Yataro Oda, who arrived from Vissel Kobe in the winter window. He was a teammate of Celtic's centre-half Kobayashi. They were both teammates of Andres Iniesta, their previous club. As Peter Haring gets a feel of the ball here on the halfway line, knocking it out low to Mackay. Ball in field deflected, finds Shanklin, but it just taken away from him by Kenna, who's robbed there by Cochrane, but Don Robertson didn't like the challenge, and County have a free kick just outside the centre circle, inside their own half. 0-0, we've played 3.
Yeah, I'm just watching Alex Cochrane. He's going right inside with a really kind of narrow fullback at times, biting in, making up the extra man. Barry Mackay, they're trying to leave him 1v1 with Randall, but if the ball breaks up, then they've got a problem, because Simon Murray's pulling into that hole in behind Kai Rolls.
Laidlaw takes the free kick midway inside his own half, comes off the head of Haring, back towards his own box though. Kai Rolls heads it away, and then out of play for a throw-in. It goes off Chanchola on this near side, and that's a throw to Hearts, level with their own 18-yard line on this near side. We're up high in the Wheatfield stand here opposite the dugouts over there, and Malky Mackay and Stephen Naismith both at the, as we look at it, in the right angle of their technical areas. The ball's knocked forward towards Kenna as it's swept clear by Hearts all the way through, though it comes to the goalkeeper Ross Laidlaw, who bowls it out to this near side. Picked up by Dylan Smith, the 16-year-old. His pass is wayward straight to Cochrane. His is wayward too. Kenna gets onto it. Chanchola stabs it forward, rolls under pressure from Murray. Has to turn it out for a Ross County throw-in on this near side. Nothing each.
Liam, I was just about to say, he did an article, Kai Rolls is very forthright in his opinions sometimes. When I was reading it, I was thinking he shouldn't be telling that. He's talking about his deficiencies and what he's been like in the last couple of months. You can see there that his lack of confidence. All he had to do was roll it back to Xander Clark. He kicks it out, keeps the pressure on, and he's, I think, indicative of the lack of confidence within this Hearts group just now. When he's openly coming out and saying it, I'm not sure that Stephen Naismith, his manager, would be hoping that was the case, because you get Jordan White and Simon Murray that will be all over the top of him, try to expose those deficiencies. But you have to say, you can see there's a real intent to the group today.
Yeah, I think he was making the point that he doesn't enjoy defending direct
stuff, yeah. Well, you saw that against Curtis Main. I think he could have headed it last week. He decided to try and take a touch, got caught out with the power of Curtis Main, and then clearly they succumbed to a great finish. But yeah, he needs to get those things right as a defender. Yeah,
now he's in trouble at the back here, down that left-hand side, and Kenna has won his team the first corner for them, certainly this afternoon. He was caught, not just out of position, but out of shape as well.
Well, there you go, and he needed Cammy Devlin to cover back. I really like Cammy Devlin in the middle of the park. He brings that fire, tenacity, he's got an energy about him, but he had to be switched on tactically there because Rolls was done. Just the physicality with Kenna.
Corner to County over on that far side. The County left as they attack the goal to the right. An in-swinger coming up. 6th minute of the game, no goals as yet. Hearts started well, but County have a corner. In it comes, and it's in the 6-yard area. It's cleared by Cochrane, I think, got the final touch, and away out it goes on the main stand side for a County throw-in, about level with the Hearts penalty spot.
Good ball. Hearts really vulnerable to set pieces, you know, concede a lot of goals from them.
Yeah, they've got everyone bar Oda back inside their box.
Sure,
it's like a foul throw, but anyway, they've got the cross in very deep towards Murray at the back post, heads it into the 6-yard area, and Xander Clark gets his gloves on it and underarm bowls it to Ginelli. He's got an overlap from Shanklin, pops it through to the captain, and now Lawrence Shanklin with his head down, driving down the left-hand side. Two back to challenge him though, and it's the two strikers, it's White and Murray, and it's get out of play eventually off the Hearts man last for a County throw-in on this near side.
Yeah, I think the role should have been reversed there, maybe with Ginelli just rolling to Shanklin in and him going on the overlap. You want Ginelli going 1v1, not Lawrence Shanklin. That's not his game. His game's back to goal, ball in the box stuff. But you could see the endeavour of Jordan White. He ran 30-40 yards there to get across his fellow striker on the opposite side.
Throw in for County taken by the former Jambo Conor Randall. Now it's with Murray, got it from Sims, knocks it forward. Should be easy enough for Xander Clark to let it bounce back into his own box. He gathers it and bowls it to Rolls, who finds Devlin. And Kai Rolls again on this near side, rolls it out onto the touchline for Cochrane, and it nicked off him there. He's on the deck. County win it back with Jordan White, tries to scoop it forward to Randall. He's claiming handball. Tom Robertson not interested. Laturi with a long ball forward into the Hearts box. Sibbick's the covering player. He's able to get it clear as it bounces off Haring and out for a County throw in level with the Hearts 18-yard line. 7.5 in, 0-0. Hearts started well, but County are winning a lot of second balls here.
Yeah, it's sort of just died off, that energy start from Hearts. You can see that little area as I spoke about with Cochrane in advanced position. Simon Murray was just paying runs in there all day.
Long throw in here from Chanchola, but he's taking it short.
I tell you what, that's his second throw in that's right on the borderline.
Now it's Laturi, right-hand side, drives it into the 6-yard area. It's cleared by Hearts, out for another throw-in on the near side. Good little spell this by the visitors. It's with Victor Laturi up against Mackay. Leaves it for Chanchola. The Austrian bends it in, and it's evaded just about everyone, I think. Did that go behind for the goal kick? It must have done, as it bounces out on the far side. But it has swung over the byline, and that will be a goal kick to Hearts. It's Hearts 0, Ross County 0. We are in the 9th minute.
Yeah, we're talking about lack of confidence, and you just have to elaborate a wee bit in terms of what that can affect. But you've got guys with the lack of game time as well. Cochrane's not been in the starting line all that often recently. You've got Peter Haring. It was the last time his start, Liam, you'd be able to dig out maybe October, September, possibly.
October.
I don't know. But yeah, it was October, was it?
It was that Fiorentina game they lost 5-1.
It's quite incredible. And I mean, he's in there with Cammy Devlin, who'll burst around, but they're up against a 3, so this tactical battle will develop.
Chantola scoops it forward to the outside of the right. Sims is chasing after it. He's in between the two defenders. He's kept it in. He pulls it back, and Clark's there. Two Hearts defenders are breathing a big sigh of relief. Sibic and Atkinson. Sims made that look so simple.
Did not look favourite either, did he? But he was quick enough. Jordan White switched on there. There was acres of space. Sibic had been dragged out. Rolls didn't plug the gap, and there was just a huge chasm.
Given away again by Hearts. Chanchola in the centre circle. You can sense that the supporters are nervous. As Randall drives forward, sliding in Mackay, does well, wins it back. Now Devlin, back to Barry Mackay. Mackay slips it forward to Ginnelly. Ginnelly now, he's got a bit of space to operate in, driving down the left-hand side. County funneling back. Ginnelly's inside the box now. Ginnelly away from a couple of challenges. He's got an option just to his right. He passes it. Eventually he's gone down. Shankland with a back heel, looking for Oda. But County have bodies in the way, and eventually they played it out magnificently well.
Yeah,
and
really
Kenna losing out though to Devlin. It's good tenacity from Cammy Devlin. And County did well to play it out, but obviously Noah Kenna has run into a cul-de-sac there. He's lost possession, and now it's Barry Mackay. It's a lovely ball, reverse to Cochrane, left-hand side of the box, low ball back, and Oda puts it wide. Best chance in the game so far falls to Hearts. It falls to Yutaro Oda on 10 minutes. With the side foot, low effort, aimed for the bottom right. He puts it the wrong side of the post, and it stays Hearts 0, County 0.
Yeah, he's just trying to guide that with the instep of his right boot, just opened his hip up. It goes agonisingly wide, but it was a brilliant run from Alex Cochrane. First of all, Barry Mackay, after his lung-busting run back, once possessing the ball, he's the guy who can see those passes. He just needs to get more involvement in matches. For me, he goes quiet too often, and this is what it's a frustration for the Hearts fans, because he can see those types of passes.
It's an awkward bouncing ball. White challenging, Civic heading it away at the edge of his own box. Awkward bounce for Mackay. Favours Randall. He's chipped it forward looking for Murray, but Cochrane gets his head to it. Important that he did. Cochrane eventually gets it to Devlin at the left angle of his own box, and Devlin slips it out to Atkinson. He started the game well, Devlin. Atkinson down the right, Oda's ahead of him. He's delaying the pass though. The fans are not slow to let him know that should have gone earlier. As Neil was saying there, it's Devlin in the centre circle. Forward it comes to Ginnelly. He's freed himself of his man, but it gets stuck under his foot, and Iacoviti recovers. But here's Shankland at the edge of the box. Still alive for Hearts this. Shankland, he's in the area, he's away from a couple of defenders. Still he has it, and it's all very last gasp in the end. And Dylan Smith with a wonderful intervention as the free kick goes against Hearts over there. And that will be a County ball left to centre, but that was brilliant from Smith. But how last ditch was that?
Yeah, it was, and I tell you, Shankland's an absolute powerhouse of a boy. He muscled his way into that opportunity, but you know, fair credit to young Smith. He didn't give up on it. He didn't give up on the physical aspect of it, but he was good enough in the timing of the challenge. But I have no idea what Alex Iacoviti was doing stepping out there. He stepped out and the ball went past him into Ginnelly. Had Ginnelly taken a nice touch, he was right in and goal. It was alarming defending.
12 minutes in, long ball from Laidlaw. Ricochets between White and Haring's heads. And eventually, we'll come back to Dylan Smith on this near side. A little short ball to Laturi on the halfway line.
Oh, he's
Dinks it forward here for Simon Murray, right-hand side of the box, looking for someone in the middle. Low ball in's easy for Civic to clear. He two-waiting, and Jordan White's having a go at Simon Murray as it's won back there by Iacoviti against Shankland. Steps away from his man, shoots well wide. It was the wrong man for Ross County. They did not want Alex Iacoviti, their captain, to be the man striking the ball from just outside the Hearts box, and it's gone well past, and it stays Hearts 0, Ross County 0 on 13. But you can see both these teams are playing really edgy stuff.
Liam, some of the defending here has been hands over the eye stuff already. Iacoviti a moment ago, as I spoke about, but the flatness of that back four there of Hearts was quite incredible, because Ross County were lining up. It was almost like breaking lines like rugby, and they were just waiting. Simon Murray had he just flashed that right across the face. Jordan White, Sims was in there for tap-ins.
Shankland up the other end, Ginnelly with his back to goal, holding off his man. Still he has it. Ginnelly rolls it back to Devlin. At the edge of the centre circle, it's Haring, out wide right for Atkinson. Short ball for Devlin, good challenge though by Laturi, but Atkinson slides in and wins it back off White. Kai Rolls out to Mackay on the near side. Low ball back along the grass to Rolls in the county half. He's going to stride forward here. Rolls then rolls it to his left for Cochrane. And he's managed to get away from one, couldn't get away from the second. It was Simon Murray, but it's a heavy touch and Mackay's on it. Mackay has it towed away from him, breaks kindly for Hearts though with Atkinson. Clip ball, Shanklin back to Mackay, and he latches it high over the bar. Really good effort though, really caught that well, did Barry Mackay, just outside the D. 14 played, Hearts 0, County 0.
Yeah, just ever so slightly leaning back, Barry Mackay, but really good coming in for that wide area. He's got the overlap from Cochrane, and if he wants it, he can stay wide, but get back involved in the play. He does. He gets across Shanklin, I have to say, did really well, because the ball was fizzed in, almost neck height. He did well to get his chest on it, just bump it down, and the shot goes flying over the bar, but much better from Hearts.
It's come all the way through to Xander Clark up the other end, approaching the 15-minute mark.
What a good 15 minutes it's been, Liam. I mean, if it's anything to go by, we should get goals to talk about in this match.
It'd be astonishing if there wasn't, the way this has started. Here's Atkinson trying to take on Harman on the far side. Harman wins that duel, goes back to his keeper, and Laidlaw hits it first time with the outside of the right boot. It makes it all the way into the Hearts half, but it's picked up by Rolls. Short ball to Cochrane. So County have hit that 15-minute mark without conceding. They will hope that the longer it goes on with Hearts not scoring, it's going to become more difficult for the Hearts players. This place can be such a weapon for the home team, but it can go against you if you're struggling, and Hearts have been struggling, 6 successive defeats.
It can turn quick as well, William, and we were speaking about it before the game. Get 15-20 minutes in and there's nothing happened here that they could turn, but they're with them just now because there's a level of intent. Yeah,
and here they come again. Oda, right-hand side of the box, away from Laturi. Is to pass it back to Haring. Square ball for Civic, midway inside County territory. Out to the left for Mackay, and he goes back to Cochrane inside the centre circle. And he finds Devlin. Devlin then pops it through here for Civics in a good position. Rolls it to Ginelli in the box. He takes a touch and shoots, and it's blocked by Iacoviti. And now he goes for a throw into Hearts over on the far side.
Really good block. Ginelli pulled away just on a little half shoulder turn, gets it out, gets a shot away. But it was Tony Civic who broke the anchor. He stepped inside. Cochrane's playing almost as a left centre back, so he can go. He's at Kai Rolls there, steps into the midfield area. That's it, good, taking responsibility.
Here's Shanklin taking responsibility, this time at the edge of the box for Ginelli. Shanklin leaves it for Cochrane, shoots and scores! Fabulous goal! And Alex Cochrane smashes it into the bottom left corner. Really good build-up play from Hearts. It started with a throw-in on the main stand side. Couple of passes and Cochrane was in, and he leathers it past Laidlaw to score a massive goal for Hearts, and it's a massive blow for relegation-haunted County as well. Hearts off the back of 6 successive defeats, lead here in their own lair. Hearts 1, Ross County 0.
Well, I was saying there, this is why the fans are behind the team still after not scoring, because they're breaking forward, there's defenders stepping in. There's a responsibility, as I said, Liam, being taken by players. If the space is there, go in there, get yourself on it. Cochrane finds himself, I've no idea why he finds himself in that position as a left back, but he's over there sort of right side of the penalty area, and when it broke to him, I'm thinking, go on son, hit it to your right, because he's so left-footed, he's so one-sided, but he didn't hesitate. He took the shot on, and it was true, it was sweet, found its way past Laidlaw into that far corner. It's a brilliant finish from Cochrane.
It's the second of the season, and it's come at an opportune moment for Hearts as well. You sense they had to score while they were on top, and while they had the supporters with them, as Neil was saying, and they need to win this game. I mean, this is a huge one for them. They don't want to go into the post-split fixtures with the gap still at 5, because as much as the games are going to be as difficult for Aberdeen, Hearts are going to have tough fixtures as well, including an Edinburgh derby, which will be here. And also, I think the fixtures will be released on Monday, incidentally, for the post-split games. But Aberdeen will be here at Tynecastle, where they don't have a good record. As much as Hearts have a poor record at Pittodrie, Aberdeen have a poor record recently here as well. So that would be something that they will bargain on winning as well, if they're the home side in that fixture. They need to be winning this one, as Cochrane looks to slip it through to Ginelli, and it's well defended by Smith. Now it's Randall on the near side. Long ball, looking for Jordan White's got his eyes on it. Long ball, Atkinson gets there first though. And it's well defended by Nat Atkinson. He rolls it up the line to Oda. Lovely touch away from Harman. He's driving forward, Oda, but he's overcooked it. And his touch takes it through to Iacovitti. Hearts 1, County 0. We played almost 19.
Do you know what? I don't mind it from Oda. He's not played hardly any football, to be honest, but he's prepared to go at people. He might lose his touch, he might run it out of play, but at least there's the will to go and make something happen. He looks full of energy. He looks quite quick, the boy, as well.
Ross County have gone behind 25 times in league matches this season before today. They'd only managed to find an equaliser on 6 occasions. They've gone behind for a 26th time. Do they have an answer today? It's a late challenge by Laturi on Oda over on the far side, level with the edge of the centre circle in the Hearts half. Hearts leading Ross County by 1-0. They're going to have to find the wherewithal at some point in the closing 5 and a bit matches they've got left to try and save themselves. Propping up the table are the Staggies just now. Of course, Dundee United have found a bit of form at the right time. We know that generally speaking Kilmarnock have been pretty strong at home, so they'll want a good performance in their final 2 or 3 home games that they have. So County are going to have to find something from somewhere.
Well, they've sort of adapted their shape, Liam. They've gone at a 4-1-4-1, but that wasn't on. There was a ball straight into Lawrence Shankland's feet there.
Here's Mackay, level with the edge of the D of the County box. Plays it straight off Randall though. Makes the rolls, and now it's with Mackay. Infield to the goal scorer, Cochrane. And back into the centre circle for Civic. It's all going according to plan for Stevie Naismith so far. 20 in. Ball to Shankland, tries to flick it into the path of Devlin, cut out by Laturi. And away it goes by Harman. Civic will then roll it back to his goalkeeper. Clark with the long ball forward. Smith has his eyes on it and he takes it down well. I know Everton are one of the potential suitors for Dylan Smith. I think Everton and Sheffield Wednesday were the 2 clubs who watched them at close quarters in Dingwall last Friday. As they lost to Aberdeen. A bouncing ball which has been won by Chanchola ahead of Devlin, who bites back and wins the ball, and the ref's happy with the challenge as well. And it comes to Ginnelly, flags down, Ginnelly driving forward, he's inside the box, looks up, cuts back onto the left and scores!
Wow, what a finish. I think he's offside though.
The flag's gone up.
Yeah, it's gone up, yeah, I thought so.
Flag's gone up, Ginnelly's only just found out and he's furious. He'll check it obviously and make sure that this is the correct decision. The flag was down initially over there. It's David McGeehee who's the main stand side assistant.
I think he's off, Liam. I said it was brilliant from Devlin and his pass was brilliant, but I think Ginnelly just went a fraction too quick, and of course they're going to let play. I have to say his composure to cut inside onto the left and just dispatch it into the top corner was outstanding, but I feel this will be chopped off.
It's a fabulous strike, wasn't it, from Ginnelly?
It really was.
Dropped the shoulder, cut back onto the left, found the top left corner of the net.
Well, speaking about Ross County, they've already changed their shape because it was a 4-3-3. They've gone to a 4-1-4-1. They'll need to change it again, you know, because that back four isn't functioning.
Let's go to Brian. Let's go to Brian. He's got a monitor.
Yeah, I've had a look at this, and this is very, very tight indeed. It could have been the Iacovitti was actually playing him very slightly on. We've not seen the lines, Liam, so we don't know exactly, but this is very, very tight. Much tighter than you think, Neil.
Okay, Brian, I'll bow to your your superior knowledge there, having seen the screens. I've had one look at it and I just thought he just dipped too early, but there you go. Could be proved wrong.
County got away with one last week. Bojan Majovski of Aberdeen scored a goal. It was very tight as well. That went the defending team's way. Don Robertson waiting. The VAR's David Monroe. He'll be slowing this down. He'll be freeze framing it.
What I would say is, Liam, it doesn't matter. I think Big Malky should be looking at it.
He's given it. It's a second for Hearts, and Josh Ginnelly doubles their lead. Really fine goal it was too. They had to wait a little while there, but now the hordes of maroon and white can celebrate a much improved performance from their team, and a second goal. Josh Ginnelly struck it. He's into double figures for the season, and it's Hearts 2, Ross County 0. And suddenly the natives down the Gorgie Road are feeling a heck of a lot better about things.
It's really weird to see this Hearts support and the players then going from their positions to kick off to then go and run away and celebrate again. It's so real. You want football to be impulsive, but of course, VAR has been brought in to get decisions right. The linesman's called it offside. I thought he was just offside. We get to the right decision, hopefully, and the goal's given. And now I can wax lyrical about the goal and how good it was, Liam, because we said there, we touched on it, brilliant from Cammy Devlin, breaking play up, his pass was magic, and the running composure from Ginnelly was excellent, and then had to finish it off with a wee bit of gloss, and didn't do that. But I've already spoken about this shape. I don't think it's worked for Malky going to the back four. I think they're getting terrorised with the pace of Ginnelly, the power of Shankland, and Hearts are really on song as the start of this game's kicked off.
I was quite surprised they went with a back four today, because the back three in the formation last week worked really well against Aberdeen, but not well enough. They lost that one. It was a good shape. But they are 2-0 down in the capital now, 24 in. Hearts much more like themselves. 2 over this county free kick meantime, midway inside Hearts territory over on the right, and Harmon's going to take it, bends it into the back post area, and it beats everyone and sails behind for a goal kick to the home team, who, as I say, had lost their last 6. It was quite the collapse, and it was all the more perplexing because they'd only lost one of the previous 13 before this current run of yes, it's 6 successive defeats, but they've actually lost 7 of their last 8, and the only defeat in that run of 13 matches was here against Rangers at the start of February. And to be fair, in that run of defeats came 2 to Celtic, but it was the game at Kilmarnock, wasn't it? It was the game here against St Mirren. That's what's done for Robbie Nielsen. That's why there was a change, because the 3 points out of the last 24 available simply is not good enough for them. Throw in county, level with the edge of the D of the Hearts box, over on that main stand side. Harmon bowls it short to Sims, misunderstanding, and he puts it straight out of play. And County have only ever beaten Hearts twice, are going to have to come from 2-0 down at Tynecastle Park to get some kind of result out of this one ahead of the 3 o'clock kickoffs. And there's some huge matches taking place right across the country, right across the divisions, and none more so than that Dundee United Livingston game and that St Mirren Kilmarnock match, which affect the bottom section of the table. And for St Mirren, in their case, Livingston's case, positions in the top 6 or not. Full coverage to come on Open All Mics from 3 o'clock. Sports Sound on air with you till 7 tonight. Here's Dylan Smith for County. Hearts leading by 2-0 and in the comfort zone for the first time, Neil, in a long time. Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about, Liam. It's so much is in the head, this game. I mean, all sport, you have to say, confidence-wise. But the start to the game was excellent. There was people taking responsibility. Cochrane, and then a brilliant goal from Ginnelly. What a position they've put themselves in. This should really kind of spark them into life here about being confident in possession of football, really using this crowd, because Ross County look all over the place, I have to say. Yeah, they've been poor as they've been in the last few weeks. And here's Shankland popping it through to Mackay, left-hand side of the County box, low ball across, cut out by Maturi, and that's going to be a corner to Hearts on this near side as we tick on to 27 minutes here. Yeah, well, the confidence is flowing. Shankland, a really intelligent footballer. Barry Mackay, we know how effective he can be, but Ross County's got a problem because they've always got the threat of Ginnelly going in behind, so they can't squeeze out when players are dropping into pockets, because they know that they'll just get bumped over the back. So they've got all sorts to sort out here. Mackay to take, in swinger, right-footed corner on this near side, and it comes. It's flicked away by Randall. It was a Hearts play here during the Ian Cathro days. Shankland now with Devlin, he's freed himself of his man, good burst of pace, it's at the edge of the box, rolls it to Haring, now low out to Oda, right hand side of the box, crosses in, it's too deep, but it will be picked up by Mackay on the left hand side of the area, rolls it back to Cochrane, delicate chip ball in, the header from Shankland, and it's 3! Lawrence Shankland, the Hearts goal machine, scores their third and surely secures the points. Not even half an hour into this one, the dink ball in from Cochrane was brilliant, and Shankland reversed the header back into the bottom left corner to take his tally to 23 for the season. It's Hearts 3, Ross County 0. The Staggies are in huge trouble. Yeah, they're all over the place. It's Conor Randall here that gets done, but you're right, I want to point out the ball from Cochrane, first time. They're not messing around, they're putting the ball into the back.
the back post area because they know it's Shankland and a few big boys are peeling round. But Shankland, I tell you, this looks an easy header. It is not, and there's loads to it. There's a little bump, he's on his heels. There's a little bump on Randall just to give himself just that slightest little bit of space to get his head on it, and then he's got to redirect it back across Ross Laidlaw. It's a quite brilliant header, great ball from Cochrane, but an incredible start from Hearts. An incredible start.
Yeah, County not helping themselves, but this has been a much better, effervescent performance from Heart of Midlothian. It's what their supporters have demanded. And Stevie Naismith will be relieved that they're not going to lose a 7th game in succession.
Keeper's miles off his line
comes
here.
Through again from the long ball.
He's miles off his line.
Goal, and he's hit the crossbar. He's as unlucky as you get there, Lawrence Shanklin. Right-hand side of the box. Lifted it over the towering Laidlaw. As Neil says, he was off his line, and it comes bouncing back off the goal frame and away to safety.
Great effort. A brilliant effort from Lawrence Shanklin. The ball again, I think this Hearts team have been guilty at times of overplaying, and I think getting entries into the final third has been a big requirement of late, and it's certainly something that I think Stevie Naismith has worked on, because you can see that when the midfielders are getting it or the defenders are getting it in space with no pressure, there's bending runs. It was Lawrence Shanklin that time. He runs away for Laturi, and I've no idea where Ross Laidlaw was going. He went a step forward. He realised, I'm in bother here. He was on the back track. Lawrence Shanklin's effort was brilliant. I mean, 6 inches lower and it's the back of the net.
It is Haring flicking it forward, and it's a comfortable take for Dylan Smith this time. Long ball is cut out by Rolls, and out it goes for a throw-in on the near side to County. We've hit the half hour. Hearts 3-0 up, and Shankland is ploughing his way through John Robertson's old records. Of course, he managed to become the first since John Robertson more than 30 years ago to hit 20 in a season. He then got to the next target, which was 22 that Robertson scored in 89-90. The next target's 25 that John Robertson scored in the so near yet so far campaign that Hearts had in 85-86. His best was 31, so he's going to be doing well to beat that. I think maybe one of Robbo's records might survive the season, but Shankland up to 23. Long ball for County into the box, evades White, goes behind for the goal kick. 3-0 Hearts.
Robbo was some striker. I mean, he got great service. Shankland has got to 20 goals, and if we touch on it, I thought when Lawrence got to 20 goals, Robbie started using Shankland off the front. He was dropping him deeper. He was playing him sort of kind of advanced midfield area, sometimes wide.
Well, that's just his third in 11 games.
Yeah, well listen, I think there's reason for that in terms of his positional sense. But I understand Robbie felt that he can trust Lawrence because he's a clever footballer, he's captain, he'll do a job, but that's not his job. And this is what I'm talking about, the psychology of football. That's the other players to say, no, I'll do that job. I don't need a good player to drop in and help me out. He scores goals. He's passed 20 goals, first time in 30 odd years with Robbo, so we need him at the front area of the pitch. He's up there with the pace of Giannelli today, and I have to say, the partnership has been really, really good to watch.
Trying to play for a throw-in on the near side to Hearts, midway inside their own half. Yeah, between Robertson and Shankland's 20 goal hauls, the closest anyone came to breaching that mark was the man himself in 96-97, and Kyle Lafferty in 17-18, Scatchell in 11-12 as Hearts come through again, but the pass is poor for Atkinson. It comes right through to Ross Laidlaw, and I think Hartley and Scatchell both hit 17 in 05-06, but none of them managed to breach the 20 that Shankland did, and he did it a while ago. 3-0 Hearts, 32 on the clock. Ross Laidlaw with the long ball forward, and it's White who flicks it out to this near side. Cochrane will see it behind for a throw, and this is going to be a heck of a long afternoon for Ross County, you feel. I'm imagining, or assuming they came down yesterday, but that's a long couple of journeys to emerge with nothing. As Civic collects midway inside his own half, looking to find Atkinson, and Hearts are finding space all over Tynecastle as the low ball comes in. Iacoviti slides in to prevent it getting through to Giannelli in the box. Out for another throw.
Liam, there's two passes, and Ross County are under all sorts of pressure.
There's Shankland looking to return it to Atkinson. Out it goes by Sims for another Hearts throw-in, level with the 6. Every time they take it, it'll be level with the penalty spot. Devlin leaving it for Atkinson. 12 minutes to the break. Hearts 3, Ross County 0. Bowled into the area here for Shankland, holding off his man, rolls it back. Oh, what a good save from Laidlaw to deny Devlin Hart's 4th goal. It looked as though that was settling for the bottom left, and Devlin thought so too, going by his reaction. But Laidlaw's got his fingertips onto it. Low diving save, and Hearts have another corner. It's relentless right now.
Yeah, horrible defending from Ross County, though. They're set up from that throw and just allows Hearts just to go into feet. Round the corner to Devlin. He takes a lovely little touch and just bends it with the instep of his left foot, takes a nick off of Kenna. What a save from Ross Laidlaw.
In comes the corner from Mackay, just a bit too much on it for Haring, and it sails behind the reverse side for a goal kick to Ross County. Laidlaw needed all of his 6'4" there to get down and stretch out to make that save and tip it past the post.
As good as Hearts have been, Liam, it's as poor as I've seen Ross County for I've seen them many times this season. Generally they're organised.
Well, they were much better here on the opening day of the season, for example. Lost the game 2-1 and felt
incredible.
aggrieved
They
to
should have
leave
probably
here
been
with
2-3
nothing.
up at half time in that game, but even against Celtic, the structure was better, but just sixes and sevens. I mean, this back four, I'm paying particular attention to it. It's so open, it's not compact, it's not tight together. They look totally disjointed. Throw-ins are set up, they just seem scrambled at the minute. Their minds look all over the place. I can see the coaching staff over there. Don Cowie's out, Malky Mackay, they're in deep conversation. The subs have been a flurry of substitute activity, whether they're going to make something.
And here they go again, Hearts.
But they'll have to do it soon, Liam. I'll tell you, this could get 4 or 5.
Here's Atkinson picking up on the far side. He's kept it in play as well. Sims with a challenge, out for a Hearts throw and level the edge of the D of the county box. 10 minutes to play in this first half, with Hearts leading by 3-0. Cochrane, Ginnelly and Shankland with the crucial strikes. And as things stand, Hearts will be back to within 2 of Aberdeen, who host Rangers in the 4:30 kickoff tomorrow. Here's Sibic, forward to Atkinson, knocks it all the way back to Kai Rolls. He's now in possession under absolutely no pressure whatsoever. He squares it left to right of the centre circle, out from Sibic to Devlin. To Shankland, first time looking for O'Dowd, does eventually get onto it, but only after a poor header away by Sims. O'Dowd back to Shankland, rolls it to the left of the centre circle here for Kai Rolls, out to Barry Mackay. Mackay now taking on Randall. And he's getting quicker. He's now level with the penalty spot. He's now inside the box. Knocks it back to the 18-yard line. Oda flicks it back and Haring shoots. He's not far away either. It's over the bar though, and it stays on 36. Hearts 3, Ross County 0. And as it turns out, this has been the perfect fixture for Hearts coming into this weekend, because there's been some seriously troubled times for them recently over the last couple of months since they last won a league match.
Yeah, everybody's stepping up, even Big Haring coming forward, getting efforts. I don't think Oda intended his little back heel to fall to Haring, but nonetheless it worked out well. But I was looking at Oda just stepping away from that moment. He's going to Sibic and Rolls. I'm going in there, indicating that he wants it in behind. That's the intent. Every time Sibic gets the ball, look, he looks big.
Oda, first time to Shankland, looking to feed it back towards the Japanese, but it's nicked off him by Yakiviti, and now Laturi out to the far side, and Harman just blasts it forward, and that's going to bounce out of play for a throw into Hearts over there. 37 played, Hearts 3, County 0. The one positive for Malky Mackay is that this is the last time he's going to have to face a top 6 side this season, and I suppose there'll be other clubs thinking that as well going into the closing weeks of the campaign. Although, in fairness, both Dundee United and Kilmarnock will feel they can take something off Livingston and St Mirren respectively later on those 3 o'clock kickoffs. Just intrigue everywhere apart from the top 2, I suppose, in the Premiership going into the final set of fixtures before the split.
Listen, it's 3-0 now. He won't want us to be too bruising. There's still lots of time to play in this football match.
And here's Mackay, it's away from Randall, who pulls him back cynically. That'll be a yellow card for Connor Randall, and it'll be a Hearts free kick on this near side touchline.
Yeah, that's where Barry Mackay wants to go.
He's taking it quickly to Ginnelly, just bounced off him, but I think Don Robertson's going to let him go again because he wasn't ready. Completing his paperwork, the referee. And he's one of those refs that does understand the game really well, Don Robertson. He was a player in his younger days, and he is the man in the middle this afternoon. Hearts then cruising 3-0 up. 7 minutes less than that left of the opening 45. Barry Mackay and Alex Cochrane are over the free kick here. Cochrane will leave it. Mackay right-footed, bends it in. Pretty deep though, it's going to evade everyone again, and that goes behind for the goal kick, but that kind of ball at 0-0 at home to Ross County,
yeah, that would have been met with
booed,
boos,
doesn't it?
yeah, but they're in dreamland just now. Stephen Naismith certainly couldn't have wished for a better first 45 minutes here. 3-0 up, absolutely cruising. Could have been more. But I'm talking about Civic looking long because Oda's prepared to go in behind. Janelli's there. And that creates a real problem for the back four of Ross County because they'll drop. And then Cochrane's going in as the extra midfielder. Barry Mackay's going in there. So they've got real issues to sort out in this half-time talk. Malcolm Mackay and his backroom team.
Randall's header forward from White. That was a clear handball. I think Don Robertson saw it, and it will be a free kick to Hearts. There was a little moment there, sort of between 5 and 10 minutes, wasn't there, where County were causing problems.
Yeah, there was.
At the back, and Kai Rolls looked like he had a little bit of a hangover from the derby last week. Mackay with a big switch. What a good ball it was too for Atkinson. In behind Harmon. County all at sea again. A loose ball though towards Shanklin is cut out and clear by Yakaviti. It's coming back at him though. Nothing going right for County thus far. Sims plays it short and it's eventually booted clear with the left foot by George Harmon. As Rolls picks up and plays it short to the right of the circle for Haring. Forward to Mackay. Now with Devlin. He's pushing it to the right for Atkinson. Out to the right touchline for Oda. Oda to Shanklin, lovely first time ball there, little touch to Atkinson, he's in behind Laturi, and then the cross ball comes in, it's blocked, headed back into the area, and Atkinson found Shanklin who played it across towards the 6-yard line, and it's cleared. Jordan White picks up for County. Sims managed to flick it forward, now it's Laturi. It's a bit level at the edge of the centre circle, he's tripped by Haring, free kick County, who can take a breather. Final 5 minutes of the first half, Hearts 3, Ross County 0.
I tell you, Ross County look punch drunk, don't they? I mean, they just look, it's the strangest thing. You can see where the gap is between Hearts and Ross County now with the amount of points of accumulated Hearts in comparison to Ross County. But
the worry for Malky Mackay is you couldn't see that gap when they played Aberdeen last week.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about. And listen, games gone by with Hearts, even you just look at them, there's not been this gap. There's something that's happened to this team today. Has been totally dismantled. Malky's changed the shape. Simon Murray's then totally nullified as an attacking force, so he can't get in contact with Jordan White, and it's just attack upon attack.
White wins a header at the edge of the Hearts box though. Here's Murray. Well, County are going to need something back before the break. They're to make a fist of this, you feel. Chanchola crossing in, it's too high for all his teammates, comes off Atkinson's head and he gets the break of the ball and he clears. Header forward by Yakaviti. Noah Kenna gets his foot onto it, but it's Haring who gets his head onto it. Devlin goes down, no foul. And Kenna moves it short to Randall, back to the unknown Hibernian man. Kenna, and he's put it straight out for a Hearts throw-in on the near side as he tried to find Simon Murray. And it stays Hearts 3, Ross County 0 here in Edinburgh as we approach 42 minutes. Some huge action to come. I mentioned those games in the Premiership. Obviously Celtic can take a step closer towards retaining their title at home to Motherwell, who have lost the last 15 in the bounce against Celtic going into that one, so not many money on them. As Shanklin comes forward, it's cut out and it breaks Laturi's way as he hits it long, looking for Jordan White, who's going to chase it. Rolls gets the touch though. Back to Clark, the keeper, who finds Cochrane, who finds Rolls. And he goes back out to Cochrane. It's amazing how easy that is when you're 3-0 up.
Yeah, but they're good players. They've just decided not to do it in the past, whether it's nerves, tension,
something's
fear.
wrong, hasn't it? Here's Gianelli versus Hearts. Up to the left-hand side of the box, he plays it along, and Shanklin, and now Atkinson!
How's he missed it?
Side net! And he's not even got an offside flag to spare his blushes. Stays 3-0.
Such an audacious little back heel from Shanklin. What an assist that would have been. The awareness, he takes a touch. I thought he was going to swivel. It got away from him, but I tell you, his audacity just to try that. Just a wee back heel kind of cross into Atkinson. He should be burying it, but I mean, maybe Ross Laidlaw gets a cross and makes it difficult for him, but he should still find the back of the net, in my opinion.
It's almost insulting that Atkinson didn't tuck that home.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Shanklin, he's still giving him it because that would have been beautiful, and he'd been liking to watch that later on in the highlights.
Well, depending on how many goals Hearts score, it might still make it. We'll see. Sports Scene this evening, 7:15 on the BBC Scotland channel, repeated on BBC One later on. Sports Sound with you here on BBC Radio Scotland, on Extra, on 810 medium wave, on digital, online, bbc.co.uk/Sports Scotland. We're with you till 7. Here is Laturi for County. Dispiriting first half it's been from the Highlanders. It's back with Alex Iachiviti, level the edge of the centre circle in his own half. Forward to Laturi's crunching challenge from Haring. Hearts have it back. Devlin now Shanklin. Mackay's away. Mackay's in, left-hand side. Takes a bad first touch, pulls it back. I think that's a handball. Breaks to Shanklin. It's blocked, and Oda doesn't get a sniff at it because Kenna managed to get it clear. I just wonder if that's going to get brought back for a handball.
Yeah, I think they'll have a wee look at that. Barry Mackay takes a horrible touch, though. Horrible touch. Peter Haring's crunched into that challenge, and he's squirming about in the middle of the pitch. He's taking a sore one. That's
not good, given his injury history.
But you've got to think it's just a bang, so it might be a bang in his knee. Hopefully it's just that and he'll recover. But a good old-fashioned smashed midfielder challenge. But what a chance. Lauren Shanklin's got the awareness because he can see Mackay coming. If he just takes a little soft cushion touch with the left foot, he's just got the whole goal to him at, but he takes a horrible one. It takes him away from goal. But you're right, I think the suggestion of handball. Are they checking it? I don't think they are they?
No, I'm not sure if there's anything official going on. Brian is our pitch side reporter. If they are officially checking it, then are you there, Brian?
Yeah, no check, everything cleared.
Maybe I'm seeing things. It looked like a hand, maybe Connor Randall. Anyway, we're into the first of 2 minutes of injury time. There'll be a bit added on top of that because of the injury to Peter Haring. He's down receiving treatment just now. He missed an entire year out, didn't he, after that cup final in 2019? You didn't see him for a year as he is worked on. So Celtic, Motherwell, Dundee United, Livingston, St Johnstone, Hibs, St Mirren, Kilmarnock sold out in Paisley. Shows you the importance of that one for both clubs, of course. St Mirren have only lost 3 games in Paisley this season in the league, so they will be big favourites going into that one against Kilmarnock, who have only picked up 2 points on the road, albeit one of those did come at St Mirren Park. In the Championship, Caley Thistle looking for a 7th win in a row when they host Dundee. Arbroath welcome Cove Rangers to Gayfield in a crucial battle at the bottom of the table. 6 points separating them. Hamilton 2 clear of Cove and at home to promotion chasing Partick Thistle. As Peter Haring is helped off the pitch, looks as though he's going to be able to come back on.
Yeah, I did think it might be just a bang, a collision. Pleased to say that's how it looks, but old-fashioned proper tackle in the middle of the pitch. It certainly got these fans going as well, and it obviously led to that chance for Barry Mackay.
The game gets back underway. Drop ball uncontested to Devlin, who goes back to Sibic. Now to Atkinson, who goes all the way back to his goalkeeper. So we played a minute and a half of the 2. There'll be another minute bolted onto that, I would have thought. With Hearts leading by 3-0. And Xander Clark hits it long, looking for Ginnelly. Smith's underneath it. Finds Laturi. He goes back to Harmon. Good first touch, allows him the space to clear. Sims gives chase. Sibic's there though, and he rolls it back to his goalkeeper, and Clark hits it first time with the right foot. Up into the air, Haring, who's back on the pitch, just loses out a little ricochet with the head there with Laturi, who looks for Sims, but again it's a misunderstanding. And it comes all the way through to Xander Clark. We're almost at half-time. Malky Mackay will wish it was full-time. It's as simple as that. Get out of here, 3-0 defeat, and focus on those bottom 6 matches and hope that Dundee United and Kilmarnock don't pick up anything later on. That's where they're at this afternoon now.
Look, you can look at that as well and understand what you're saying, but as a manager thinking, we can't be as bad as this in the second half, so he'll make some changes. Of that I'm convinced. Probable shape, certainly personnel. And then you're thinking, right, if you get the first goal of the second half, then you're back to 2. This place might get a bit uneasy. You get a second one, so yeah, there's 45 minutes to play in the second half. You just need to get in here. That's what he needs to get.
Sibic rolling it out wide right, looking for Oda or Ginnelly, sliding in. Put it out as Harmon. He played almost 3 minutes of injury time. 2 were officially added. A minimum of anyway, as Atkinson goes out to Oda on that far side. How do you think he's done, Oda? He's
done fine. I think his application's been really good. He looks full of energy. Clearly hasn't played a lot of football, but I think he's been decent out on that right side.
Throw in Atkinson to Shanklin, takes it out to the far side. Touchline goes down. And it will be a free kick to Hearts over there on that main stand side. Taken quickly by Atkinson. Haring sweeps it into the centre circle for Devlin. Now out to Mackay. He's got Cochrane ahead of him. He's onside as well. Left-hand side of the box, pulls it back. Shanklin gets it, goes down. Penalty, is it? Don Robertson doesn't award it now.
He'll give it, and it's totally accidental. He has a wee swipe, and he can't get his leg away quick enough, the young fella. And I think he catches Shanklin. I think this will be given once play stops, Liam.
Well,
and I tell you, it'll be a last kick of the ball because they'll need to go back, won't they?
Yeah. Well, we're now almost 4 minutes into stoppage time. 2 were added.
Don Robertson will need to play this out whether he thinks it's time up or not, and then he'll need to go back and have a look at that. I think it's a penalty.
Dylan Smith with the big switch of play. He's gone out for a throw-in over on the far
He's got to go back and look at that.
Well, it doesn't look like... Well, yeah.
He's got to.
Hand to the ear, but no, I think he's... Yeah, he's going to have the review now, is he?
Do you know what? I feel sorry for the young fella because Shanklin gets there first, but he's already in swing mode. He can't stop it. The big leg, I think, takes him out. Yeah,
they're checking right now. First reaction was it was a penalty to Hearts.
Yeah, Shanklin, I mean, he's no type of boy that shouts for stuff, and when he doesn't feel his contact, he has to jump over it. Yeah, he's even taking the ball, he's not sure, you know. Look, he's walking back with the ball, he's thinking this is going to be given.
Yeah, he's got the ball, he's ready. Don Robertson isn't ready yet. Brian McLaughlin?
Yeah, I've had a look at it. I think it's a penalty kick. Yeah, absolutely. Don Robertson's gone over to have a look. Yeah, the long lad, he just stuck his foot out and caught Shanklin. It was a stonewall penalty.
Yeah, it's a shame because the big boy, he just can't do anything about the momentum, and he knows. He thought he got away with jail, and maybe when VAR isn't there back in the days, then he would have got away with that one.
Well, what a contrast to the last time Hearts played here. Lost 2-0 to St Mirren. It was an insipid performance. It cost Robbie Nielsen his job. 2-0 defeat. Yeah, there he goes. He's checked it. And it is a Hearts penalty. And the last kick of the first half will go to the Hearts captain and top goal scorer, Lawrence Shanklin. Malky Mackay's got his arms folded over there.
I was saying, just get in at half-time on 3. You can maybe get one and then the game back in the balance possibly, but this could put the icing on the cake for Hearts and the nail in the coffin of Ross County.
Shanklin spotting the ball up. This is a big opportunity for him. He's got a 100% record from the spot for Hearts this season. He's scored all 11 that he's taken. And here he goes at the school end against Ross Laidlaw to score Hearts 4th. What a chance. Here he goes, beginning his run-up. Right-footed penalty. In he goes! Takes a touch off Laidlaw, who guessed correctly. But he couldn't keep it out, and Lawrence Shanklin goes up to 24 goals for the season with yet another spot kick success right on half-time as the half-time whistle goes here at Tynecastle Park. An incredible contrast to the last 6 matches Hearts have played. They've lost each and every one of them. But Shanklin scores the penalty with the last kick of the first half here. And that leaves the half-time scoreline. Heart of Midlothian 4, Ross County 0. Shanklin's second of the afternoon, coming after Cochrane and Ginnelly both scored. Ginnelly into double figures for the season as well now too. A very successful first half for Stephen Naismith, for his players and for a relieved support here. But Ross County are deep in the mire. At half-time at Tynecastle, it's Heart of Midlothian 4, Ross County 0.
On digital radio,
online at BBC Sport Scotland,
or play BBC Radio Scotland Extra on your smart speaker or BBC Sounds.
This is Sport Sound,
where Scottish football lives.
What a strike!
What a goal!
You're one game away from the final, and I know you won't want to get too carried away, but...
You know me, I want them to enjoy it because it's the first time that most of these players have been to Hampden.
The magic of the Scottish Cup continues in the semi-finals.
It's a real tough game, we're going to have to be our very best. It's what dreams are made of, a chance to play in the Scottish Cup final if you win.
Next Saturday.
Falkirk versus Inverness Caledonian Thistle.
Watch on iPlayer, listen on digital radio, or play BBC Radio Scotland Extra. And next Sunday.
Swings it towards the back post, goes and beats it, goal!
Rangers versus Celtic.
Thinks it in, Carter scores! And that will seal their place in the semis!
Catch the lunchtime action on Sports Sound from BBC Radio Scotland.
Yes, a big weekend ahead. Next weekend we are underway in what is a huge day of action in Scottish football. The early kick-off at Tynecastle. Hearts 4, Ross County 0 at half-time. The opener from Alex Cochrane in 17 minutes. Josh Ginnelly with a second on 22 after a VAR check. And Lawrence Shanklin with a double, 28 minutes, and a penalty there right at the end of first half stoppage time. Tom English is with me in the studio. Tom, where do you think the balance lies here in terms of Hearts being very good and Ross County being absolutely dreadful?
Well, listen, both of those statements are true. I think Hearts, from the get-go, had an energy and a freedom about themselves. They had a confidence. They wanted to play. They wanted to play at pace. They had a physicality, something they didn't have in the second half against Hibs. I think it was the physicality that they're showing is maybe a reaction to what happened against Hibs last week. But they've had a lot of class. They're 4-0 up. Shanklin hits the crossbar with a beautiful lob. Atkinson, after an outstanding move from the back, misses the sitter, could be 6-0. Ross County have been, and I'm not sure I've got the word in my vocabulary to describe how bad they are.
I just can't believe
I'll go with lamentable. I'll go with lamentable. The space that Hearts haven't had to work that hard to find is incredible. There's space everywhere. There's physical weakness everywhere in this Ross County team. There's a lack of awareness of danger in their midst in this team. Honest to God, I mean, Mr. Magoo could find space against.
Oh, there he is. He's had his mention. It's been a few weeks.
Listen, I only wheel out Mr. Magoo references very sparingly as
and Black Ball Rovers.
Well, you know, both would apply
yes.
to Ross County. A team of Mr. Magoo's could deliver a pacing to this Ross County team, and we call them Ragball Rovers. Ross County have been awful, but Hearts have made them look awful, and Hearts have been excellent, and this is a hell of a bounce back from recent weeks. Oda has come into the team, the lesser spotted Oda. I think he's been very good, but there's been a slickness about Hearts, but you can't take away from the fact that they're playing against an atrocious team.
Yeah, we'll get Neil McCann's thoughts in just a minute, and also I will read you a text message I have just received. Right. I wonder if you can guess who it may be from, but we'll get that in a couple of minutes' time. Another big game kicked off at 12:30. It's at the National Stadium. It's the Women's Scottish Cup semi-final with Rangers up against Motherwell. What's happening there, Jane Lewis?
Well, Rangers lead here by 1-0 at Hampden Kenny. The goal coming after 60 minutes. A lovely ball in from Sam Kerr. Perfect for Hannah Davison, who made sure she beat Emily Much in the Motherwell goal with a bullet-like header. It really has been all Rangers in terms of possession and chances in this first half. They really could, maybe should be further ahead. Emily Much, though, in the Motherwell goal, she's been really busy, but she's also been in terrific form. She's kept out a couple of Kirsty Howard efforts, one from Medag as well, while Nicola Docherty saw her effort fly just wide. Motherwell will take heart from the fact that they're only 1-0 down in this one. They've defended in numbers. You fancy their best opportunity to try and get back into this one might be from a set piece. They've had a couple of free kicks, but nothing at all to threaten Rangers, who have looked really good in this opening half. On this historic day at Hampden, where the National Stadium is hosting its first ever Scottish women's domestic match, it's Rangers who lead 1-0 here at half-time in this Scottish Cup semi-final.
Thanks, Jane. Yeah, tremendous to see that game taking place at the National Stadium. Jane will bring us all the news later in the programme on the full-time whistle. Let's then get back to Tynecastle. Neil McCann, Tom was just struggling to find words there about how bad Ross County had been. Yourself and Liam touched on it in commentary. They actually made a reasonable start to the game, but Hearts have totally and utterly dominated from about 15 minutes onwards.
Yeah, I don't think Malky will be short of words at half time, and I think a few of them will get the old hairdryer treatment. I can't believe it. It might be one of those ones, you know, you say, well, you got us in this so you can get us out of it, get out there and send the same 11 out. But I'd be shocked if he doesn't want to change, because if he keeps it the same and Ross County's players put on the same application levels as what they did there, they'll get annihilated. This could be 8. Tom's already said there, it could have been 6, it could have been 7. Laidlaw's that save from Devlin as well. I mean, this could easily have been 7. And it wouldn't have flattered Hearts.
Neil, can I put this to you as a player? So just take us into that dressing room, because I know what you're saying about the players, and they have been dreadful. But as a player, sometimes at half time, when the manager's ranting or maybe he is having a go, are you looking at him and saying, "Wait a minute, you set us up today, you changed the shape today, and this isn't working. This is a lot down to you."
Oh. Well, 100%. There'll be fires exchanged, but I tell you, when you're sitting there and you've been a player and you're down 4-0, you've not got much of a say. You've not got much of a say. Now afterwards, you can argue and say, "Well, you set us up with that," but it's application levels for me that they look disjointed. The back four, they've gone with a back four. Don't tell me they didn't work on that before coming to Tynecastle. They look vulnerable, very, very vulnerable, and the reason they're vulnerable is because it said there, Tom's pointed out space, but it's the intent from Hearts. Civic and Rolls, every time they get it, they look big. So when you look big, generally a centre-backs who are frightened of pace, and that's why Janelli's in the team today. They'll take a drop, they'll take a step back. Now if you take a step back, then Shanklin drops in, or Devlin will go on it, and they create space in there because they've lengthened the game by the first look. And what happens there is that Hearts are coming in and picking up pockets. Barry Mackay coming in and picking up pockets. Then they're going trying to squeeze, and then they're leaving themselves exposed with that back four with the spaces in behind. So this is what I can't believe, that Malky won't change the shape, because they have to. They have to probably get back to a 3. And that will eliminate some of the space that's going through the centre of the goals for them. But again, it goes down to that. I've spoken about it. I've said the word psychological effect that it can have on a footballing team. That is not the Hearts team that's been turning up the last few weeks, is it? Let's be honest.
No.
And it's not the Ross County team, so it shows that certain things can happen in games of football that can have a profound effect on somebody's performance levels. You could see that after 15 minutes, Ross County at 10-15 minute mark, sort of, I think they blew out the flame a wee bit of Hearts, and they started getting a few chances. They were breaking lines, they were looking a wee bit of a threat, but this Hearts support didn't turn on the team, and I think that helped the group, and then they got the goal and it was a different atmosphere altogether. But from a Hearts perspective, Stephen Naismith, I know he was quite concerned the amount of ball they had, but the lack of penetration, the lack of an attacking intent to make people defend against them, it wasn't evident against Hibs. Hibs had an easy ride last week, in my opinion. Shanklin was isolated, it was anonymous, and that's due to the fact that he didn't get any support. He's getting plenty of support today, he's getting ammunition. Guys are stepping in, they're taking responsibility. Cochrane scoring with his right foot, probably would have tried to chop back that, wouldn't have taken it on. Civic stepping in there, Rolls is stepping in there. This is a different outfit, and to me, it's the same players, its confidence levels have gone through the roof, and it's a wee bit of, for me, it's a wee bit of a release of the fear of not being the one that has to make the difference. Somebody's already made the difference, and suddenly they want to get on the ball, suddenly they want to take chances, and it's incredible what it can do to a football team.
Yeah, Tom, Neil saying there, a very different Hearts side today. As a result of that, a very different atmosphere. We can hear it coming through here in the studio from Tynecastle. Just looking at the table, so Hearts will move to within 2 points of Aberdeen. Aberdeen at home to Rangers tomorrow. Full coverage on Sports Sound. Ross County, bottom of the table, 27 points. Kilmarnock, they of course are at St Mirren this afternoon, they're in 28, Dundee United 28, St Johnstone 32. So a text. If this remains like this, Michael Stewart has messaged me. Now, you had a good exchange with Michael. We touched on this before the programme about Stephen Naismith. So Michael's saying, have you changed your mind about Stephen Naismith, or is he still finished at Hearts after just his first game?
I think that's very funny. Michael said last week, don't judge Stephen Naismith on the loss to Hibs. Now he's saying, do judge Stephen Naismith on the performance against Ross County. He needs to make up his mind. And does this mean now
that means my phone's going to go again?
Does that mean that Michael is all on board with the sacking of Robbie Nielsen now that the glorious Stephen Naismith regime is up and running?
Mikey's just sitting in a big chair, just stroking that white cat, isn't he? With a wee wry smile on his face.
He needs to be consistent, but I have to say he's put a smile on my face with that one. I mean, Hearts have been excellent. They've bullied Ross County, but let's see what they're like when they pick on someone on their own side.
Yeah, who's impressed for you today? Because he made changes to this side, and I guess that's him also trying to change how this team plays, but putting his own stamp, Neil, on this team. Where have the successes been today? What's worked?
He's been aggressive in terms of in possession of the football. He's not overcomplicated. As I said there, the one direct change for me is the centre-backs, every time they get it, are looking long. I've seen Civic do it half a dozen times. Well, generally they would like to play, I think under Robbie they were playing through the middle, playing through the lines and then getting to Shanklin and try to build the game. I think they've got Oda's then gone and intimated to Civic and Rolls that he's wanting to go in behind, so there's an intent there. I said there was a huge start. I'll not give it away, but there was a huge start that didn't look too favourably in terms of how Hearts were attacking. And I think they've tried to certainly address that by being a lot more direct. The one change for me outside of that is Giannelli's pace up top. If you've got pace up top, we speak about Celtic and their thrust and the pace comes from Kyogo dipping in down the sides. It terrifies defenders. And then when teams deepen, they get into little pockets. If you've got somebody so quick up there, then it's a wonderful weapon to have, because it changes the dynamic and how you can attack. If you look at, for example, how Rangers are attacking at the minute, it's all very in front of teams because Morelos can't stretch teams. He can't go in behind. He's not got that pace anymore. You look at Shankland up there on his own against Hibs. He's not going to stretch you. He's not going to go in behind on his own. He needs support. They didn't get it. They become non-existent in attack. Today, if Shankland drops and somebody steps in, they've got the space. Jacoviti did it, if you remember, Kenny, early in that first half. I couldn't believe it. He stepped in, created a gap with Smith down the side. If Giannelli takes a better touch, there's another example, another opportunity. So the change for me is that they've gone much more direct, but the players are taking responsibility to do that. I think in the past few games they've reneged on that. They've taken the easy option. They've not taken the risky pass. They've taken the safe option, and that's a lack of confidence.
You look at earlier in the season, Hearts were best when they had width, when they had Atkinson and Giannelli, Cochrane and Mackay, creating from out wide, stretching defences, when they had a bit of a ballast in the midfield. Haring and Devlin have offered that today, and it allows Shanklin to do what he does. I think Shanklin has been brilliant. I think as an attacking force they've been excellent. He's a top class player. I think they've been really, really strong. And a lot of these guys have come back into form today, Neil.
Absolutely, and we spoke about Kai Rolls doing that very frank interview, which again you might want to compliment. I know journalists love it because they open up, and sometimes I think you can open up too much because you don't want to give chinks in your armour away. But I think when Ross County changed, they had Simon Murray and they had Sims, who looks really quick. When Hearts got the upper hand, I think Malky was concerned of the space that they were getting through the middle of the pitch. He changed formation. He went to a 4-1-4-1, brought Simon Murray out to the right, and I think it helped Hearts because then they weren't being asked to properly defend through Ross County going direct. Ross County lost that threat by having Murray and Jordan White up. I thought they would have gone a 2 up today. I really did. I thought they would go a 2 up today and just go and say, right, okay, look what Maine did to Rolls last week, just go direct and work on the seconds. They didn't, and I think Malky let them off the hook by changing it, and maybe he'll reflect and think maybe he shouldn't have done that. But nonetheless, Hearts absolutely took the game by the scruff of the neck, and they've become a different team.
And Brian McLaughlin, you've got news of some changes?
Yeah, there's going to be a couple of changes made by Ross County. Jack Baldwin, who missed out today, dropped to the bench. He's on for the second half. Josh Stone's also coming on. The players making way. David Cancola and Simon Murray.
Thanks to Brian McLaughlin. As you can hear, the teams are coming out for the second half. I think later on in the programme, Tom will discuss more about Malky Mackay, because I think it's fair to say with Dundee United, with Kilmarnock, with St Johnstone, obviously Callum Davidson part of the company this week, there seems to be a lot more chat, a lot more pressure on these managers, on these jobs. Ross County, perhaps it's just less expectations, smaller club, I don't know. There's not been an awful lot of chat about Malky Mackay. Perhaps that changes today.
I think if this continues the way it's going, as Neil's saying, it could be 6, 7, 8-0. I think it'll change, because this is a performance that will rock Ross County to their foundations if it keeps going the way it is. This has been utterly, utterly dreadful.
Well, it's time now for the second half to get underway. Hearts 4, Ross County 0. Back to Tynecastle with Neil McCann and Liam McLeod.
Second half, Ross County could probably do without. Blustery Tynecastle here in mid-April. Those two changes, Stones and Baldwin coming on, with Chanchola and Murray going off. But it's damage limitation time for the Staggies. Laturi takes the first touch of the second half. County in the all-white change kit, right to left. In the second half, Hearts in the maroon and white will shoot towards the Gorgie Road in this second half of a game they are leading 4-0 in.
Yeah, well, Ross County have tried to address that clearly. The power, Josh Stones here in possession. They've won their first corner. Yeah. But they've changed to a 3, which absolutely was a must for me. They've taken Simon Murray off, which I think is a shame for the boy, because he was asked to go wide and he fell out of the game. But they've gone for a bit more power. Jordan White, Josh Stones up there. 3 at the back, tried to solidify a wee bit, but they'll have a real go. They have to. Goal difference is a big factor.
I was just about to mention that. We'll get to that in a second. County corner, outswinger coming up here from Harmon, left-footed, very, very deep. A little bit of jersey tugging there between Haring and Iacovitti, and as it goes out of play on the far side, it's going to be a throw-in for Hearts by the look of things, despite the protest of Iacovitti. Yeah, County coming into this weekend with the best goal difference out of the 3 at the bottom. Before today, they were minus 19. Clearly, that's minus 23 and counting now. And that's now just 1 better off than Dundee United. Kilmarnock are minus 31. And the goal difference stakes. And remember, just a point between the bottom 3. County on 27, Kilmarnock and United on 28. Here come Hearts again. Shanklin through for Ginnelly. Laidlaw read it and clears it along the ground. He's fortunate though, because it's gone straight to Laturi. Could have gone straight to a Hearts player, as Oda picks up. No changes for Hearts clearly at the start of the second half. County going with the back 3 now, as Shanklin collects, and he's worked into the path of Yutara Oda. Sidesteps infield, good skill, shuffles away from his man, runs into Laturi, who he then fouls. And he slaps his hands in frustration. Oda, he'd love a goal today, wouldn't he?
Yeah, it was a lovely little attempt at a back heel. Just probably gave himself too much yardage to make up. But Josh Ginnelly was making the back post. Had he just flashed it across the goal, he might have had a tap in, Ginnelly. But again, it's Shanklin's intelligence pulling wide into the space. Lovely little pass for Oda.
Just looking at the goal difference across the league, Celtic plus 78.
Yeah, that's
Aberdeen are currently third, minus 2.
2.
Yeah, what a difference.
That's unreal, actually. It's not what a difference. I mean, you wouldn't believe that with an 80 swing.
In fairness, Hearts are plus 6 sitting 4th, but that's not much better. And the chasm is just enormous. Little ball back there to Baldwin, who clears, helped on its way by Randall, and out for a throw-in over on the far side to Hearts, to be taken a bit level with the edge of the centre circle. Stephen Naismith over there, he celebrated all 4 goals like he used to as a player himself. He's the last Scottish-born striker to score for the Scotland national team, is Stephen Naismith. As Baldwin heads forward, actual bona fide striker. As Laturi plays it forward, cut out by Kai Rolls, and eventually made a play for a throw-in. It wasn't as long ago as you might think. It was against Kazakhstan in 2019. He's a relatively recent retiree from the playing side. Hearts interim manager. It's much more like what he was hoping to see in the derby last week, what he saw in the first half here today. Shanklin goes down. Baldwin's challenge was illegal, says Don Robertson, the ref. He's happy with it. As Kenna battles for it, as does Sims. Eventually it breaks Kai Rolls, poor touch out for a throw-in to County over on the far side. Hearts 4, Ross County 0. As that's flicked into the box, come right through to Xander Clark. Of course, Lawrence Shanklin almost scored against Spain, didn't he, in that most recent international? He'd have loved that, given that he's having one of the best seasons of his career. Certainly best season as far as league status is concerned, given he's in the top flight and he's banging them in. We know he can do it in the lower reaches in Scotland, but that would have been just lovely for him to net against the Spanish.
Do you know what, there was some question marks on Lawrence coming back to Hearts from Beershot over in Belgium, where it never really worked out for him. Because of maybe his return at Dundee United wasn't so handsome as it was in likes of championships and Ayr United, but that is a natural born goal scorer out there in Lawrence Shanklin. If he gets service in and around the penalty box, he will score goals for anybody.
Look at him now. I mean, he's a powerhouse, isn't he? He's a proper number 9.
Yeah, he's the type of striker. He's got an old school look about him. He backs in, he works angles, he touches and hits on sight of goal. He's a proper number 9.
4-0 to Hearts. Dylan Smith, the youngster for County. It's been a chastening day for him and his teammates. Clip ball forward, goes straight though to Atkinson on the near side. Sliding in there was Stones. Put it out for a throw into Hearts, which Atkinson will take. Josh Stones, all known from Wigan. Throw in here for Atkinson.
They just make him big and powerful down the Wigan. Humphreys is about that size as well, isn't he? He's massive.
Yeah. Atkinson bowling it forward. It's the challenge from Baldwin, and Ginnelly's gone down, clutching the back of his head there after the county skipper went through him. I said in the first half, I'm so surprised Malky Mackay changed the formation today, given the performances in the last 3 games against Celtic, St Johnstone and then Aberdeen. And it was working, if not in results, it was working in performance. Comes back to Laidlaw, who clears with Ginnelly chasing him down. Underneath it's Cochrane, little header into the midfield, helped on its way by Haring. Met by Baldwin, sends it forward. Sims will chase, try and keep it in play. He's not going to manage that though. And that's going to be a goal kick for Hearts. Sims sliding in, couldn't keep it in. Yeah, he's just right in front of the Ross County supporters. What a horrible afternoon it's been for them.
Yeah, it'll be a worse evening travelling home as well if it remains like this. Because I tell you, has anybody told the calendar that it's almost May here? It's absolutely freezing.
Yeah, it's not great. The wind is getting worse as well. Grey skies above Scotland's capital. Hearts leading 4-0. Long from Xander Clark. Baldwin's flick header takes it all the way back to his goalkeeper. You see it quite a lot, don't you? When we're 51.5 into this, still plenty time with Hearts leading 4-0, but you see teams roaring into a massive lead at half-time and then it finishes that way.
Yeah, I mean, I think it goes a lot down to the change from the opposition, where they've had the right act read to them. And there's a reaction out of them or a change of tactics. Well, I think we'll probably had both today from Ross County and Malky Mackay. They just want to get the next goal. They'll want to win the second half. If they win the second half, then clearly they've made an impact back in the game. I think the game is gone in terms of them having anything in terms of chances to get a win or even a point, but they need to get a wee bit of self-respect back for performance, and from that travelling support certainly.
Baldwin, long throw in for County, level with the Hearts 18, and it comes, it's helped in its way by Jakovic. He's done well. White heads it off the bar when he should have scored. County's best moment of the game by a stretch, and Jordan White really should have pulled one back for the visitors. Corner only. It stays Hearts 4, County 0 on 52.5.
I don't know if Xander Clark got a touch on the way to the crossbar or the way back from the crossbar. I don't know. I thought I saw something, but I think that's harder to miss. Jordan White, you expecting the net to ripple. Great little flick on and he should score.
County corner then. It's an in-swinger towards the back post, and there's another County header. This time it's over the bar. White was involved again, and it's going to be a goal kick to Hearts. 53 played. They lead 4-0. They're cruising to a big 3 points. They would reduce Aberdeen's advantage back to 2. And Sibic collects and moves forward. Long ball, right-footed. Shanklin giving chase. Remember, he's on a hat-trick. It's cleared, and Jakovic gets onto it and clears himself, and White nods it out to this near side for Stones. Level with 18, taking on Sibic, driving forward. He's done really well since he's come on, actually. Has he won another corner? No, it's still in play.
He
comes away with it.
He likes a rumble, that boy, until he's a powerful lad.
Yeah, so does Cammy Devlin, though. He was getting involved.
Giving away a wee bit of height and weight as well, I would say.
There is Devlin. That won't stop him.
No, it's the size of the fight in the dog and not the size of the dog in the fight. Is that not what they say?
And Stones is just clattered in from behind down on this near side. He'll be doing well to avoid a yellow. In fact, Don Robertson's got the yellow in his hand here. And out it comes for the County sub. He certainly added something.
He cemented him into the board there. Atkinson's still on the floor.
He's completely wiped him out.
I did line that one up, but he seemed that type of character. If there's a 50-50 there, he's going to make sure he's getting the shoulder in. He's going to make body contact.
Yeah, and he joins Conor Randall in the book. And Atkinson's okay. He certainly felt the full force of that. And Josh Stones is on the tightrope now between now and 90. 4-0 to Hearts. Of course, we don't know the next set of fixtures will be. We will find that out on Monday. There may be a hint emanates between the close of play today and Monday lunchtime, but we're primed for the post-split fixtures being announced on Monday afternoon at some point on Monday, as the teams will be able to plot their way through the closing 5 match days. Atkinson with a throw-in midway inside the county half, short to Shankland, back to Atkinson. He found that just bounced off his foot though, and it's county able to clear their lines. Kai rolls, picks up and rolls it out to Mackay on the far side. Well, Stevie Naismith certainly won't want Hearts to peter out. They won't want the performance to peter out. You'll want them to go again in the second half. That's good play by Mackay. Chops back in field, away from a couple of men, and wins the throw-in in county territory.
Don Cowie went absolutely mental there. And Malcolm Mackay's now giving the fourth official some questions that he's got to answer. I think he thought Barry Mackay had run the ball out of play there. Looked tight.
Next week, of course, the Scottish Cup semi-final weekend. As County make a mess of it at the back. Ginnelly shoots, and that's brilliant from him! Absolutely wonderful from Josh Ginnelly, who's just lasered that one into the bottom left corner. It arrived at his foot fortuitously, but there was nothing fortunate about that finish. It's outstanding. It's his second of the afternoon, and Hearts are running amok finally. Hearts 5, Ross County 0.
Well, if I could just for a moment go back, Don Cowie's back out asking the fourth official why that wasn't given, because you can trace it back to that where they thought they'd run the ball out. But when the ball then goes forward, I'm watching, I think it's Josh Ginnelly, he takes that sort of heavy touch. And there was people pointing as if to say, oh, you should have got that to young Smith, instead of going and mopping up and taking the second ball. He stepped back, stayed on the 18-yard box. Josh Ginnelly doesn't need a second a bit of advice to go and take the shot on. He gets the ball out, could have slipped over, just decides to absolutely smash that with the instep past Ross Laidlaw. I mean, that was a brilliant finish. Yeah. But again, so bad from a Ross County defensive point of view, so bad. I think young Smith's involved, he doesn't get any contact in the ball, he kind of hesitates, but I'm watching the other centre-backs there just looking with hesitation, not going trying to get the seconds in, and Ginnelly just going smashing into the net. I mean, this is a nightmare day for Ross County.
Meanwhile, Hearts change, Brian.
Yeah, it's number 12 for Hearts. Nat Atkinson still suffering after that challenge by Josh Stones that led to the yellow card. The player coming on, James Selland, just on that goal, the minute the ball hit the back of the net, Don Cowie was straight out the dugout once again to have a go at the fourth official and the near side assistant David McGeechy here. He was convinced.
Was it out, Brian?
It's very difficult to say. Yeah. Neil, obviously Don Cowie's got a better angle than I have, but there was very few claims other than those from Don Cowie initially that the ball had gone out.
Yeah, and in fairness, this game's done, but the goal difference could become a problem for Ross County.
Liam, it's not even a goal difference now we're starting to look at. I know that it's going to be important. It's the psychological effect it'll have on this Ross County team. Going into the split, going into the last 5 games, you do not want to go in the back of an absolute doing.
They're in trouble again. Mackay has robbed Smith. Mackay, now it's a chance out at the edge of the box. He's inside the area, left-footed, blocked. County all over the place. Now chips in. What a goal! Hat-trick!
Outrageous from Lauren Shankland, is it?
Hat-trick for Shankland. The most nonchalant of chips into the top right corner. County don't know where to look right now. And Lawrence Shankland scores yet again. And Hearts have roared back to life this afternoon. Make no mistake about it. It is Heart of Midlothian 6, Ross County 0, and there's still loads of time to play as Lawrence Shankland goes on to 25 for the campaign.
Well, go and lap it up, son, because that is quite brilliant. I mean, audacious. Tom said he was struggling for words to describe Ross County performance. I'm struggling for one to describe that finish. It's ridiculously cheeky, but it's so talented. It's just a chip, a dink over a defender, over a goalkeeper. I'm watching the body language of both defender and goalkeeper just resigned to the fact that they've been done with a quite brilliant finish, a sensational finish. But I tell you, Oda's getting English lessons, and Stephen Naismith says he's coming on. Had he not finished with a goal there, Lawrence Shankland, he would have learned a few Scottish words. because Lauren Shanklin had a tap in at the back post that Oda refused to give him, and the shot was blocked, and it came back to the striker. I mean, what a finish. That's the sort of thing you do in training. And he probably, listen, I don't think I'm being disrespectful here. I think Lawrence might have tried that at 0-0, but at 5-0 it's easier.
This isn't done yet.
Oh my goodness.
And he's giving it away again. Oda's in.
Oh my God.
Oh, and he pulls it back for Ginnelly. It's behind him and it's blocked.
Honestly.
Well, Ross County heads are swimming here.
Oh, they're all over the place. I mean, this is a... There's self-damage happening out there as well. Ross Laidlaw is rolling people in. Oda's had 2 opportunities to either get himself onto the score sheet or roll somebody in, and he's not done it yet. Cammy Devlin's over there trying to keep his head up. The young man is destined for a goal day, you think, because he's getting some opportunities. And I know Malky's made changes to the formation, but he's not made changes to the mindset of this Ross County team. They are absolutely all over the shop.
This could be anything today.
I tell you,
Hearts could hit double figures this afternoon. The way this is going.
6, right? And realistically, it should already be 9 or 10. And I'm not being disrespectful to Malky and his team. He will put this to bed very, very quickly after this game. Get that team up the road, eradicate that from their minds. Probably give them a couple of days off and just say, right, that didn't happen. Get back in and start again. This is one of those games, Liam, as a coach, you just say everything that could go wrong went wrong, and you can analyse the death out of it. You better probably just putting that to bed, erasing the tape and just saying, right, that's gone now. Just look at these next 5 games and get ourselves right, because they are in one hell of a fight for a relegation.
We've got a throw in the Hearts half level with the 18-yard line, 61.5 on the clock. Lawrence Shanklin with another hat-trick. Of course, he got that one against Celtic. It counted for nothing in the end up, but this one most certainly will. And now they're away again. Here's Yotaro Oda scampering across halfway. Mackay to his right, so too's Ginnelly. He's found Ginnelly, he's on a hat-trick himself. He shoots, saved by Laidlaw. Then Devlin with the effort, off the bar with a save from Laidlaw. And somehow it stays out.
Honestly,
it's 6-0 going on 10 here.
This is an absolute onslaught. The Alamo comes to mind here. I mean, there's just... The white jerseys that just look so spaced out. I mean, it's like you know, they get the sevens in the rugby, but it's the same size of pitch, but it's less. Is this what it's like with the amount of space that's for these Hearts players?
Shanklin out to Ginnelly, level with the 18-yard line. And now back with James Hill, the sub. Infield for Devlin, shielding it from Smith. A horrible afternoon for the 16-year-old. I suppose it's all good experience, it's all a learning curve as Cochrane opens his box of tricks, crosses in, Shanklin flicks it, Oda has it at the back end of the box, and it's a last-ditch slide challenge from Stones to put it behind for the Hearts corner. Hearts 6, Ross County 0 as we approach 63 minutes.
Honestly, I think you would go a long way to find a game where Hearts, or any team for that matter, I mean, Celtic probably have done this when I think back to their 9s and stuff that they were scoring, but every attack looks like a goal for Hearts. Like, honestly, I've been at Tynecastle many, many times as a player, as a coach, as a fan, working as a pundit. I've never seen a more open game of football, Liam. Honestly, I've never seen a more open game of football.
Well, Hearts of this corner to be taken by Mackay. Outswinger with the right boot coming up here. It's a chip ball towards the back post, towards Haring. Comes off the head of White behind for another Hearts corner on the reverse side. 63.5 on the clock. County can't get out of here quickly enough. They've got the white strips on today. They need the white flags.
There's a few subs out there warming up, and I'm telling you, they don't look all that excited about being told to warm up, because I'm not sure a lot of them will want to go into this. You don't want to go into this game when you've not even got a second win, let me tell you.
Hearts corner. It's over on that corner between the main stand and Gorgie Road end. We've got plenty around about the penalty spot. Haring makes a break from the group, and it comes. It's headed up into there by Akiviti. Then Stones completes the clearance. Here's Cochrane. And now Devlin. County must simply hope Hearts decide to slow things down and drop the gears at some point. As Hill slips it towards Oda. He's emerged with it down by the byline. He's won his team a corner as well.
I tell you, Liam, he's been good. He's been really good. I know he's made a couple of mistakes and probably a wee bit ring rusty, and his decision making won't be on point, but he's his application level has been absolutely superb. He's been energetic. He's got an intent about him where he wants to make something happen. I think they've missed that in this Hearts team.
Opportunity to swing this in, Barry Mackay. Outswinger coming up, third corner in quick succession for Hearts as they look for a 7th. And it comes, the header's down, it's just wide. Well, it was Haring who attacked it, but I think it's Kai Rolls who got the touch. And it goes past 65 played, Hearts 6, County 0.
Yeah, it was Haring. I don't know how he missed it. And then Kai Rolls is just at his back, and just his header's just got a little bit of bend on it, takes it away from the far post. But again, Malky Mackay must be asking, who's doing the picking up here? This is just too easy an open play. Never mind set pieces. Yeah, he's going to make another couple.
Both teams making two changes. Let's get them out of the way, Brian.
Yeah, Stephen Humphreys, who scored a wonderful goal here, goal of the season, I would say, here at Tynecastle earlier in the season. He's coming on for the last 25 minutes. He's replacing Josh Giannelli, and also coming on is number 8, Kieran Choglu, and the player he'll be replacing is number 14, Cammy Devlin. Another couple of substitutions as well for Ross County. Watson and Tilson are the players coming on. They're replacing Noah Kenny is one of the players coming off, and number 11, Josh Sims, also. Seen enough. 66 minutes gone, and all these changes now starting to happen.
Well, I'm absolutely sure, I'm positive that back 3 and that back 5 at times will be so happy that they've seen the back of Josh Giannelli's pace. But the problem for them is that Humphreys is also very, very quick. It looks as if he's sort of dropped in off the front of Lon Shankland. Ross County have made a couple of changes. The experienced Keith Watson coming on. They need to stop the bleeding soon.
Well, Hearts are looking at their biggest top-flight victory right now. We're into the realms of that. Now they've won Scottish Cup ties 14-0, it was a 15-0. They beat Cowdenbeath in the Championship 10-0. As Shankland comes in again, that's a brilliant save from Laidlaw.
What a take as well, but a really good run from Civic. These guys just like total different players, you know, totally different players. But Lawrence Shankland's little dive in between the lines there, his take on first time was superb, and that was fine in the bottom corner. Superb stop from Ross Laidlaw.
Haring, short ball square to Kai Rolls, left hand side of the centre circle, then out to Mackay, and he prods it back to Cochrane. 6-0, 6-0 and counting in Hearts' favour. Ross County utterly beleaguered as Oda knocks it infield to Shankland. He can't find a teammate. Yakiviti's given it straight back to Hearts in any case. Oda, and now Kieran Zoglu. You can tell every time Yutaro Oda gets the ball in and around the box, the Hearts fans wanting to score.
Oh, they're desperate for the little man to get something, aren't they?
Almost came through to Humphreys inside the area, and then just battered clear up towards Jordan White, who controls it. That's a good challenge by Kai Rolls. Now Laturi. This has ended up being the perfect afternoon for Hearts. This is exactly the kind of game they needed.
Everything that could go right has gone right. That back four would love to shift out of Tynecastle with a clean sheet as well, because that's been sorely missed for them in terms of that confidence level as a back four. Kai Rolls, centre-back, Civic, Xander Clark. There's been mistakes made in a number of weeks gone by. This would be a lovely little tonic for them.
There's Cochrane, short out onto the touchline for Mackay, then back to Cochrane. Now Rolls. There's been a couple of really big wins this season in the Premiership. Hearts obviously put 5 past Aberdeen, Hibs put 6 past them during that terrible week for Hearts' main rivals for third, potentially. Still St Mirren and Hibs are interested in that, of course. And Celtic's 9 at Tannadice. But here it stands at 6-0 on 69 minutes. Here's James Hill, infield to Haring. Haring's ball forward down this near side is cleared by Yakiviti, and out for a Hearts throw-in on this Hearts right. But certainly goes down as one of the worst performances of the season that we've seen when it comes to the visitors today.
It's interesting, Barry Mackay's, whether he's holding his word through Stephen Naismith telling him to stay out there, or he's just doing it himself. But if I was him, I'd be getting myself right in there, get involved in the goals. I know he's got to stretch the game, but Cochrane's coming inside, he's getting involved. It's a lovely pass, you know.
Yeah, Shankland has it, left-hand side of the box, support arriving in the middle now.
Here he comes now.
Knocks it
There
back
you
to
go,
Mackay,
Barry.
he's onto it, it's touch forward, those poor, and it bounces off the defender. It's Tilson actually, he was in the way. And Hearts will have to start again with Cochrane over on the far side. Haring square. Civic
Steady big man, he's listening to the crowd. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Shoot, he's 40 yards out to get carried away.
Well,
I can't see his face, but he must be laughing. He must be smiling at that one.
he is 6-0 down. Our county and
would-
Hearts looking for a 7th.
He wouldn't have done that in 0-0.
No. But this place wouldn't sound like this at 0-0 at this point in the game with 20 minutes to play. This has been a terrific afternoon's work. And Stephen Naismith down there still barking away to his players. Laidlaw hits it long, Laturi takes it down in the midfield. Now Tilson rolls it out to that right-hand side. Some relief for County here. Long cross ball in. Stones can only prod it behind for the goal kick. We'll stay Hearts 6, Ross County 0.
I'm not one for writing too much down when I'm doing this sort of thing, Liam, but I would like to think that I wouldn't be too far off the mark. That I think Ross Laidlaw's probably made 4 really good saves.
It's at least 4.
Yeah,
and they've hit the bar.
And they've hit the bar.
Twice.
There's been a couple where they've not hit target. This could have been absolutely horrific reading as a scoreline for Ross County.
County change, Brian.
Yeah, youngster Dylan Smith has been a tough day.
devastated, you know.
Yeah, he's gone straight up the tunnel. Actually, he's been replaced. The player coming on, number 7, Awura Edwards, and it looks as if Hearts are also going to make a couple of changes. Andy Halliday's just been called back to the bench. I'll have details of that one in a moment.
Yeah, Brian, he's just gone right up the tunnel. You'd have seen him walking past you. I can see deep into the tunnel. He pulled his strip over his head, the young fella, which is horrible because he's a kid, a 60-year-old boy who's been absolutely brilliant getting into that first team, but he should not be exposed to this by these senior professionals around him.
Here's Jordan White. Light touch infield to Awura Edwards, who's just on. He's out of play for a throw into County, midway inside Hearts territory. We're about to tick on to 72. Hearts 6, Ross County 0. All the team news to come from the other matches taking place this afternoon across the SPFL. You can get that at bbc.co.uk/sportscotland with our live text that will be chuntering away in the background. Get yourself onto the website for the early team news. Long throw in for County into the Hearts box, headed away by James Hill. And Mackay goes at fresh air, but goes out of play for a County throw-in over on the far side. And this is a chastening afternoon for Malky Mackay for sure. And Roy McGregor has proven in the past he has got no problem making a change if necessary, and we've seen clubs making late season changes, and with 5 cup finals to play after this one, do County make a change after this? Here's Jordan White though, chests it down, but Civic's there to knock it out for a throw-in to County on this near side. Short ball back there to Harmon, gets it back. Harmon left hand side of the Hearts box, his cross is cut out. Breaks back here onto this near side for the Staggies as they look to try and find a consolation goal. Awura Edwards darting around, passing it, and the effort's deflected behind for a County corner. This is proper respite for the County defence, and indeed for the County supporters. And look at them over there on the far side. I don't think any of them have left, and fair play to them. The Turi's over this corner with Harmon. 16.5 minutes to play. An in-swinger from Victor Laturi. Dink towards the near post, easily away by Shankland. And now it's picked up by Conor Randall, who goes back the way, but Hearts have a man down, so play has stopped. Hearts 6, Ross County 0.
Hearts have had 27 shots on goal. 27 shots on goal, 10 on target. I mean, 6 corners. It's as one-sided as you're likely to see, and then of course the big start you're looking for, 6-0.
More changes, Brian.
Yeah, a couple of changes going to be made for Hearts very shortly. George Grant is coming on, as is number 16, Andy Halliday, and wait till you hear the cheers for the players who are being replaced. Lawrence Shankland, a hat-trick hero this afternoon, of course the captain here, and Peter Haring making his first start since October. The board's just going up now, Liam.
Yeah, he's been really good today, considering a lack of football the big guys had. Crunched into that challenge, I remember, as he's a header. He's not had a tough day at the office, let's be honest, in there. He's not been made to really work against the Ross County midfielders. He's really enjoyed himself. That's a perfect game for the big fella to come back.
A special cheer for the Hearts number 9 and skipper.
Yeah, and Shankman going off. I mean, what can you say about him? We're waxing lyrical about being a proper number 9. He'll have a match ball to get signed after the game, and a nice wee rest for the remainder of this. 15 minutes or so, game's absolutely done and dusted. But I'm not sure if there's any more subs that can be made here. I've lost count of the amount that's been done.
No, I think that's them all.
Not the full quota on the pitch.
Yeah, all been made. 15 to play. 6-0 Hearts. The game was done a long time ago. County with a long ball towards White, who chests it down in the Hearts box, but he puts it behind for the goal kick. How does this affect you if you're on the receiving end of such a mullering as County have been, going into 5 matches that will define their season and decide where they're playing their football next season?
Again, there's different ways that I think a coach can approach this. If it was me, I would get the boys on the bus and I would tell them to forget about it, because there's only so much you can do. Clearly the message will be passed out personally once they get in-house, but get on the bus and get up the road, but it should be a very quiet bus.
You would think so. Long ball for Uri Edwards, chasing it. Kai Rolls, the covering player. Edwards beats him to it. Shoots, blocked by the Aussie. It's back to Tilson, who then unintentionally fouls Halliday. And that will be a free kick to Hearts just outside their own box. 76.5 on the clock. Hearts leading by 6 goals to 0. And looking at one of their biggest ever top flight victories. And that won't do Stephen Naismith any harm going into the post-split matches, which will clearly be infinitely more difficult and challenging than this one's proven to be. But it won't do them any harm at all, mentally, going into those games.
Well, that's a big question of Aberdeen tomorrow. If they can get it back to 2, they've got them to play, of course. They've got other big games coming. But the lift it will give this Tynecastle team is absolutely enormous.
Back with James Hill, level with the edge of the centre circle in the county half. He finds Halliday infield, and then he pops it out to Mackay. Right on that left-hand side. Clips it into the box to the outside of the boot, but it's clear by Iacoviti and out for a throw-in on the far side. 2 Hearts, you'll look to finish with a flourish here in the final 12.5 minutes. We'll have another goal or 2.
I'm really looking forward to actually hearing this pass.
Yeah, here's Oda.
Oda.
It's a good touch on the left foot, back onto the right, and the left again. He shoots, and it's a low effort which is held comfortably by Ross Laidlaw either side, and he might well have been looking at his first Hearts goal, which the fans here are desperate for him to get.
Yeah, he's desperate himself. You can see that he's so keen to get a shot off and target there. Humphreys was inside. Had they just rolled it to him, then I'm sure Humphreys would have had a clearer sight at goal. But you can see his first touch is just not quite there yet, and he's so 100 miles an hour trying to get something to happen for his team. But himself, I think he's desperate to get on a score sheet. It's just not quite there.
Here is Hill down this near side, and his passing field's cut out as he was aiming for Humphreys. And County have it back here with Laturi. Over to the right for Watson. His ball forward finds White, and now Tilson. Now Owura Edwards out to this left-hand side for Harmon. Little ball infield into the left-hand side of the box for Edwards again. Level with the 6-yard line. Back it comes to Harmon. Looks up, left foot chip ball's a good one that bounces off the bar. County are 6-0 down. It could be 10, 11 or 12 really, but they have hit the bar twice themselves. It stays Hearts 6, County 0. Another chance for the Staggies there, but here's George Grant up the other end. Oh, he's had it pinched off him by Laturi. 11 left to play at Tynecastle. Hearts 6, Ross County 0.
Yeah, I was saying Liam before Oda had that chance there about Malky's post-match. I'm looking forward to hearing his thoughts and what take he puts on this, what spin he puts on it, because it'll hurt him so deeply, you know. He's not the type of guy it's probably used to seeing this type of performance from his side. Generally they're well organised, shapes normally good, he's been talking about the last 3 weeks about how good the performances, elements of it have been. They've just not got the rubber of green, so I want to hear his opinion of his side's performance today. I don't think it'll be too glowing.
It is James Hill for Hearts, square ball for Halliday, midway inside the county half. Getting into the final 10. It's Mackay. And George Grant's on it now. Level with the penalty spot, finds Mackay, back to Halliday. Grant, now Kiermaitzoglu. Short ball for Humphreys. Humphreys then works it out to this near side for Hill, right angle of the county box. Back infield to Humphreys, he lets fly and it just goes wide. How much power did he manage to generate with that one? And Ross Laidlaw's fortunate it's off target, because if that is anywhere on target, it's going in.
Yeah, he's not getting that one. I'm never quite sure which foot is stronger with Humphreys. Whether it's his left or right, he just shifted it onto the right there, it hits it through, tried to cut across it to create a little bit of left to right spin. My eyes were sort of drawn towards Barry Mackay, who went down the edge of the box. Don Hobson's just checking on him just now. He went down off the ball, whether he just caught an elbow trying to make a little run off the ball, I'm not sure, but he went down and seems fine though. He's up on his feet again.
What will this do for Stephen Naismith? It's not necessarily his prospects of getting the job full time, because that won't be decided today, and he's going to have bigger challenges to have to overcome before that comes into the public discussion, I suppose. But what will it do for him personally? Because last week was very difficult for him.
Well, it gives him his first win as a manager, and he'll feel really good tonight when he goes home. He'll feel as if his week's work has been worth it. He's bounced back from a Derby defeat, which would have been feeling really low, because clearly it was an opportunity to stamp his book with a big start in his managerial career with beating your greatest rivals. But I mean, that didn't happen. But I think the impact that he's had on the team today, the start his team have had in this game, he'll be feeling pretty good about himself.
County have a throw in, a bit level with the penalty spot over on the far side. Did have a chance to make it 7 Hearts. Since then, about 10 minutes ago or so, things have petered out a little bit for them. You can understand that though, the amount of changes that have been made by both teams. They still enjoy a 6-0 lead against Ross County. The ball's bowled into the Hearts box from the throw-in, won by Akiviti, but he puts it well wide, and it stays Hearts 6, Ross County 0. Well, this will be music to the ears, I would have thought, of Denny McInnes and Jim Goodwin. Neil going into their huge matches, which will be kicking off in less than 45 minutes.
Yeah, monster games. Listen, they'll have a wee eye on it, and they'll be shocked, I think, with the scoreline. But it gives them, I suppose, it gives them an opportunity to then, if they win their respective games, just get a bit of light between them and County. But more importantly, it's that mental aspect going into the split, the 5 games. Don't want to begin in absolutely flat. And Ross County will need to do some psychological work in this team to make sure it isn't the case for them.
It's over on that right-hand side. Edwards wrestling
Great
it.
attitude from Edwards, you know.
Yeah, good on him. Up against Cochrane, he goes down. Penalty to Ross County.
Well done, son.
Yeah, it's great play by Edwards. This game was gone a long time ago. It was gone a long time before he even came on the pitch. And what a good attitude he showed there. I mean, you could pretty much guarantee starting their first game post-split just for winning that penalty.
Do you know what? Good on you, son, because the heads are down, and it's horrible when you've taken a tanking like this. But he's showed a wonderful attitude since he's come on, a willingness to keep running. Now, that's a proper good battle as well with Cochrane into the wide area. He won it physically. He won the foot race by gaining the yardage. He's won the penalty.
He's going to take himself.
Yeah, and he should have taken it himself because he's earned it. So this could be a wee pat in the back for himself and his hard work.
It's a VAR check. Just to make sure it's the correct decision.
I think he got in front of Cochrane and drew the foul. There wasn't an awful lot in it. I think it was more the weight of the contact with Cochrane. It takes him down.
Don Robertson telling Xander Clark to go back in his line as if the penalty's going to be taken. It looks as though the check has been completed. Yeah, it's been completed. 6 minutes to play. County are 6-0 down. All that's left for Hearts is to try and keep a clean sheet, but here comes Awura Edwards, who won the penalty, and he scores this one, bottom left corner, and gives the County fans something to cheer on an infamous day in the club's history. It's Hearts 6, Ross County 1.
Yeah, Hearts will be disappointed that they've conceded and not going to get that clean sheet which they've played. Probably on the face of it, you know, it's been a good performance. You go back to the Jordan White header, they should have conceded from that, but when they don't concede from that, Ross County haven't really done much. But again, that's full marks to Edwards. His attitude won that penalty. He was cool enough to calm himself, compose himself and stroke it away when the game was finished.
Well, Hearts, I think their biggest ever top flight victory came in '65 against Hamilton. They won 11-1. 6-0 would have been the best since then. However, the gap back to 5. They've had plenty 5-goal victories over the years. Hill's header forwards cut out there by Harmon, and then the header away by Halliday into the county half. 85.5 on the clock. 6-1 it is. Ura Edwards' 5th goal of the season. He showed great attitude to score the penalty he won himself, and it's just given them something to cling on to. And there's been precious little today in what's been a most atrocious performance.
You just wonder what it would have been like though if Stephen Naismith hadn't made the changes, Liam, because the continuity went, the rhythm of the game went.
He's right to do that though with the game.
Well, yeah,
gone,
yeah. I think he's got to protect the players, and it's right to take them off and not expose them to any injury. But there was a crazy spell there for 10 minutes before he made those changes where it could have been anything.
Yeah.
I mean, there could have been 4 or 5 goals in a 10-minute period where that would have just... there's not many managers would have survived that had it gone to that type of scoreline. And I'm hoping that Malky comes out of here relatively unscathed, that once you just look at it, it's 3 points. At the end of the day, it's a few goals shipped in, but just get himself right up the road and get himself ready for this running that's going to be so dramatic for the relegation spot.
Do you think that, given the precarious situation they're in, do you think Roy McGregor will be sitting down thinking about that now? They've got a couple of weeks till their first post-split game.
No, I don't think so. I hope not, because I wouldn't like to see that. But had it gone to an embarrassing scoreline, then the gut reaction is that, you know, we need to make a change. But I think the bleeding has been stopped now. They've got one back, and Malky's a good manager. I think he's done a good job up at Ross County. I think they've been very unlucky in lots of games that have not produced the points that maybe the performances might have suggested they should. But when you go into the 5 games, it's so important that everything is going in the right direction, and I don't think that Roy will be making that decision.
Do you know, the only reason, and I wouldn't normally ask that, the only reason I did is because we have seen clubs push the panic button recently. This one's one of them, right here at Tynecastle. St Johnstone did it last week, when they see their ambitions faltering, as Edwards picks up at the edge of the Hearts box, but he's a poor touch from him and Hill's able to clear.
Yeah, as a manager, your thoughts probably would drift to that, considering their league position, and then the nature of the performance, and then the way the goal scoring's going. I think I was reading an article, I'm sure it was Craig Levine was talking about it. I think there's maybe 7 or 8 managers still in situ after a year of working in football out of 42, which is quite incredible. I mean, when you go into management, you know there's a good chance you're going to get sacked. You're always positive to think that you're not going to be that statistic, that you're going to get a move to a bigger club because you've been a success. But the reality is, it's such a tough job. I think the dangers of getting sacked are increased now, because sometimes you don't get the time to work, you don't get the 3-year plan to put things in place, because maybe the rewards of staying in a division are so high and the drops are so low that boards take the decision to get rid of a manager.
Here come County looking for another one. Oda's in the way there just as it broke towards Luturi. It's a brilliant touch by Mackay. Hearts come away on the counter, and Humphrey's got his arms outstretched, wanting it in the middle. He's in the box. Mackay tried to roll it back to Grant. It's cut out though. Not happy with Barry Mackay. It's still Hearts 6, Ross County 1, believe it or not. 89 minutes played.
Yeah, Humphreys looks disgusted. Absolutely disgusted. He's walking around a wee bit there. I know he's not got the best body language at times, Big Stephen, but he was wanting a square pass. It was a difficult one to find for Barry Mackay on his left side. He always felt he was going to drift inside onto that right foot.
Lots more to come here in Sportsline. Open all mics from 3. We'll get the pre-match team news from around the grounds as well as we go into those matches. The 4 in the Premiership taking place at 3. Plenty riding on certainly 3 out of the 4. Celtic cantering towards the title. They'll be expecting to win that one. But then you've got the matches involving those at the bottom as the slip from Randall allows Mackay to pick it up left-hand side of the box. Pulls it back to Humphries, takes a touch, he shoots for goal. It's beaten away by Laidlaw, who makes his latest save. He's conceded 6, but he's had a very good afternoon, you would have to say. It's Hearts 6, Ross County 1, as we move in towards second half stoppage time, for which there will be 4 minutes added. Another save from Laidlaw, though. Hearts corner. Looking to finish with a 7th goal here as we go into the first of those 4 minutes of injury time. Mackay's over the corner. And plenty of Maroon in the middle. He elects to play it short to Cochrane. Back to Mackay. First time cross. Humphries beaten to it by Baldwin, who heads it out for a Hearts throw-in over on the far side.
Yeah, it's funny you're saying that Laidlaw's had a good game. I don't think, barring the penalty where he gets a hand on it, I don't think really he's got a chance with any of those goals. Had it not been for his performance, I think this would have been a lot more. So yeah, it's weird to say.
Sounds ridiculous. I know
it does sound ridiculous, when you look at the score, but he's actually had a solid game. He's made probably half a dozen really good stops.
Go! Shot!
It's back here with Xander Clark. As it's hit long with the right foot. Apologies if you're offended by any language that you may have heard in the background there, as Baldwin picks up and clips it out to the right-hand side. Randall battling for it with Cochrane. Eventually it breaks back to Conor Randall, who was once in the maroon and white here himself. Out it comes to the left-hand side for George Harman, who rolls it forward down the left-hand touchline. Poor touch by Stones. It's gone behind for the goal kick, and it will stay at Hearts 6, Ross County 1 in injury time.
I saw you look at me there funny. I wasn't sure if it was a Sean Connery-esque take a seat that was shouted. But you better apologise anyway.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. If you're not sure, just apologise anyway. If you have to. Yeah, big games coming up later on, the Championship as well. Cally Thistle looking to win a 7th in a row when they host Dundee, who sit top. Wafer-thin lead at the top after that goalless draw at Somerset last night between Ayr and Queen's Park. League One newly crowned champions Dunfermline are at playoff-bound Airdrieonians, who are 5 points behind Falkirk with 3 to play. And Bairns are at Alloa, who are 4th and 6 clear of Queen of the South. Well, in League Two, Stirling Albion need just a point to confirm the title and promotion to League One for the first time since 2015. They're at home to 3rd placed Annan after being held by Dumbarton during the week. As Oda picks up here for Hearts. Closing stages at Tynecastle. 6-1 to the home team, who burst back to life today after 6 successive defeats as they try and reel Aberdeen in 3rd spot. Aberdeen against Rangers comes tomorrow. And a way to finish the weekend, that'll be. Finish the pre-split fixtures. It's Humphries for Hearts, out wide left Mackay. We're about to tick into the final minute of injury time. Mackay back to Halliday, and it's deflected behind. He's claiming by a hand. It's a corner that's been awarded initially there by Don Robertson. We're in the 4th of 4 minutes of injury time. Hearts 6, Ross County 1.
Wonderful check that. Go to Brian maybe, I'm not sure, but Halliday's convinced that out of hand. And they're not even checking it, are they?
No, it doesn't look like it. He was the only one complaining.
Yeah.
It was his effort as well, so that might have had something to do with it. Manny Mackay with an out-swinging corner. Wheatfield stand side. Hearts look for a 7th. Final minute of injury time, and it comes. Headed away there by Akiviti. Picked up by Ahura Edwards. Laturi. Now Tilson gets there first as well. And there's a bit of afters just behind Don Robertson, who's going to have to stop the play here. Was it Kia Mertzoglu who got himself embroiled in a push and shoving match?
There's a few boys getting involved in white jerseys. Iacoviti, Baldwin. They should be more angry with their own team and get a hold of each other like that, rather than Keogh getting involved with a little bit of a afters for a tackle. I mean, there was nothing in it, honestly, nothing in it. Wee bit of shoving, a wee bit of grabbing, making his way back, and then both players, I think it was Baldwin getting involved, or maybe it was Watson, but certainly Iacoviti get involved as well.
Yeah, Hearts were looking at, if they lost this, their worst losing run since 1979. As Keogh is booked, and a county player is going to go into the book as well by the looks of things for that incident, and it's Tilson. We've played the injury time. This might well be the last kick of the ball from Ross Laidlaw here. And County will dust themselves down and hope to go again wherever their bottom 6 opening fixture takes place. Laidlaw with a long ball. Sails into the Hearts box. James Hill's there and he knocks it out, and that is the final whistle. Huge win for Hearts, this one. Huge win on the scoreline, but more so in their battle to finish third and all the riches that provides these days in the Scottish Premiership. Malky Mackay shaking hands with the Hearts staff over there. A really bad, ignominious afternoon for the Staggies, who by and large, when they've been in the top flight over the last decade or so, been a breath of fresh air, but they were blown away by Hearts, who were on the back of 6 successive defeats. But they've come in here and they have walloped Ross County. Started like a train. Alex Cochrane got there first on 17 before Ginnelly added a second on 22. Then it was the Shanklin show for a while, a second hat-trick in Hearts colours for Shanklin, who took his tally up to 25 for the season. He was magnificent. So many in maroon and white were, with Josh Ginnelly scoring again to make sure that he took his tally to 11 for the campaign and to ensure that Hearts had their 6th goal. The only blot in the copybook for them was Owura Edwards converting a late penalty. It was only consolation, if indeed you can call it that. County, you would have to say, potentially a bigger fish to fry between now and the season's end. 5 post-split matches against teams in and around them. Their goal difference is taking a bit of a hiding today as well. For Hearts though, they've reeled Aberdeen back to within 2 points. Still very much in their hands, that race for 3rd spot, ahead of the Dons hosting of Rangers at 4:30 tomorrow afternoon. Neil just wants to have a quick word about something.
I'm just want to compliment the Ross County fans. Liam, this has not been an easy afternoon for them, but in general, in the back of a result like this, there's a lot of bad blood, there's a lot of pouring over the kind of barriers and shouting obscenity or whatever it is, just real distaste at the performance and the result. But I have to tell you, those fans are absolutely brilliant. They've come down, they've applauded their team who have bravely gone to them, probably in an apologetic way, but full marks to them, because that couldn't have been easy for them to do that. They understand that they have to get behind that team for those run-ins, fixtures that you're talking about, and I just wanted to compliment them on that. Brilliant.
Indeed. Tough afternoon for them, much better for the Hearts supporters, and really good news for Kilmarnock and Dundee United, and probably St Johnstone as well, is that the final scoreline here at Tynecastle Park this afternoon was Heart of Midlothian 6, Ross County 1.